accidentally unplugged my microphone, and it seems like Discord didn't notice that I reattached it. So
Yeah.
I
Discord's a
talk
bit
all the
iffy on that.
time.
But you're good to go.
Yes, I'm good to go. Obviously.
Good to go. All right, and we had a rep present, or at least a present from Torch, the Aspen Tabaxi, and Zerum. Do we have a Zerum?
Aspen Tabaxi.
There's a dragon. All right.
Ouch! My ears.
Well, we didn't need those ear holes. It's okay. All
Yeah,
right.
my headset is broken, and now I have to use my ear-in plug from my phone.
I love it. All right, everyone. I'm not going to bother with too much of the recap. However, what is important to know is that you all went through the catacomb, the Hall of the Dead of the Terminus Temple in Samora, after another event had risen some of the dead back to life. Working through, you managed to find some individuals, some guards that remained alive. Some were hiding, and like the cowards they are. However, some were less so, unfortunately. You did also encounter a seemingly a source, or at least a spectral source, or an image of him, of the event, and who called a dragon blood with blues, or dragonborn with blue scales, who called himself Praxis the Umber, and he is attempting to revitalize a cult of Nod called the Spiral, and routinely called you all the children of Nodisa, claiming that you have bits of a 1,000-year-old human woman's soul buried within you.
Hmm.
After he departed, so too did all of the undead. However, you found some curious scraps of paper as well as markings on a wall, and you managed to uncover a hidden tomb of an ancient king of Samora. And in doing so, you found a rather beautiful mace, which I believe is currently in Artonis's clutches.
Possibly.
Possibly.
Smash people with it.
Smash people with it, see what happens. And you also did find the guard named Adamar, whose sister implored you to save him. Unfortunately, it was too late. He had succumbed to wounds taken from the uprising of the dead, and he was deceased. However, Aspen graciously hauled his lifeless body back to the entrance of the catacombs so his dear sister could cry over it upon your triumphant return to the temple.
It's important to remember that we tried.
It's like a cat bringing a dead bird to like their owner.
I got you a present. It's your dead brother.
Yeah.
Wow,
Jeez.
guys, that's amazing.
Yeah,
All right.
we've taken your dead brother out of the place where dead bodies rest, so you can put it somewhere that dead bodies can rest.
Yep.
Okay, but that place where dead bodies rest is for notable individuals, not
Your brother isn't important enough.
He is not important enough to stay there. All right. Basically to close up that particular evening, after the hubbub had died down, and the Aviite and the Nodite who greeted you at the entrance, they stated when you mentioned the word Nodisa, they said that there is much to talk about. However, this is not the time to do so. Please, we will have food brought to you. It seems unsavory to try and hold a grand banquet at this time. So food will have been brought to your rooms, and they will talk with you upon the morning. And if there is anything specific you wish to do between now, that is to say about dinner time, that was interrupted for a while, and the next morning, this is the time that you want to let me know.
Can I make some perception check to see if that kobold? I mean, I don't know that the kobold stole something, but just a perception check if I can check.
Yes. So I'm not going to bother with you. You know exactly what belongings that you would have. All of your belongings are still there.
Okay.
Yes, and that is the same for anyone who would check their belongings. Zerum, I believe you kept your personal bag with you the entire time. All of your belongings are where they are. And Twee and Ayul, you have your spear back after it
Yes.
having been unceremoniously thrown upon the floor in a rather, I'm not going to say the word pathetic, but that is kind of the right word.
Feeble.
Feeble. Ooh, I like that. The feeble attempt from a monk with no proficiency in spear use.
I like the fact that he said feeble, because that implies that it was even worse than a pathetic attempt, since he was like weakly trying to do something and failing.
At least it seems it was in the air. At least
It was not. And I also want you to know that you are that you currently do have that mace with you. If it was seen by anyone, the Aviite, the Nodite, when you explained at least whether or not you told them what you found in the recently uncovered king's tomb that was previously hidden, they will not have tried to have taken that weapon from you. I just want to point out. Basically,
not like that would have had a point.
Well, it's a relic. It's a historical
No,
artifact.
I mean not that they would have been able to get it. Is what I mean.
Ah, right, understood. So you do still have that particular item. I just want to point out.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So for the evening, if anyone wishes to make to do something, if there's anything like while you're thinking that if you like, nope, I'm good, let me know, no, I'm good, so I can follow all 6 of you as you follow.
Can we leave? Can we leave the temple?
If you wish to leave the temple, you can certainly do so, yes.
Because my Kenku has contact to certain appraisers, and he would like to appraise. He would like to appraise the stuff he got.
Are you familiar with Samora?
No, yeah.
Yeah, you're
Kenku is-
familiar enough
Yeah.
with it. In this case, you will be able to go to. Do you want something illicit or something? Basically, at this point, at this time of day, which is basically evening, any jewelers or jewel smiths or even gemsmiths would have been closed. You would either need to wait for tomorrow or find a more illicit way of appraising these right now.
But the thing is, I would use my position of privilege with the thief theme, and since that this is stolen good, I wouldn't go to a normal jewelry.
All right.
So.
Okay, so we will say that through your knowledge, and Samora itself is large. It's not exactly like the Thieves Guild. They do hide in plain sight with the shadow marks. So
Yes.
you will have been able to find a jeweler with a shadow mark of safe upon it, and basically find him upon closing down. But you will have to pay to get this appraised. He is not going to do it for free.
Yeah, I mean, I want to sell it anyway, so that's sure.
Okay, okay,
I
so
need money.
he will take a cut of it. And what were the items that you retrieved again? You purloined from the royal room, the royal tomb.
It's give me a second. I need to look in my inventory.
Mm-hmm.
So nobody of my troop knows it. Of course,
It's okay. No one knows it, and no one realizes that Zerum actually retrieved 3 ruby rings from that cave. Everyone knows that you took the mace out. No one knows about his rings that he retrieved.
I got a jeweled dagger.
That's right, the
and
dagger.
a very beautiful necklace.
All right. So the jeweled dagger itself. Let me go ahead and make a roll on this one.
Also,
Where are you? I'm gonna do that.
how's it called if you fight about the price again? In
You
English?
haggle, haggle.
Yeah, haggling. Haggling
Yeah.
is of course something that Steve would do.
All right. The dagger itself, the jeweled dagger, the jewels themselves are relatively small.
Mhm.
But if you were to sell this item, he would be able to sell it for a better price, but you can sell it to him for 200 gold pieces,
Ooh.
and he will take 50 gold as the cut for selling that as appraising it. So you would get 150.
And the dagger. I mean the necklace.
That is the dagger. The necklace is a different story altogether, as a matter of fact. Not really, as a matter. It's not exactly that different. Again, the jewels used inside they have been inside of the tomb for a relatively long period of time. The jewels themselves are still good, but there's obvious flaws inside of the cuts. They were not cut
Yeah.
as well as they could have been. So again, 200 gold for the necklace with a 50 gold cut for him.
Can I haggle a bit? Like
So if you want to haggle, we can do it in one shot for both of them.
Yeah.
So for haggling, let me double check on this. Yeah. So for haggling, we can go ahead and make this whatever you feel better at. If you feel better at intimidation or persuasion, maybe even performance might work if you're good at that.
my performance is really bad, but a persuasion and intimidation is
Okay.
pretty much the same. And even his persuasion, their persuasion would probably
Yeah,
be
probably.
the same. Sounds the
All
same,
right.
so I make
Ah,
persuasion.
okay, so you basically have to beat a wow, never mind. Um, this guy, you make a very convincing argument, and he's a little surprised at how shrewd a Kenku can be. He knows you guys are rather opportunists, and he really likes what you're trying to do. He respects you. He is going to drop his cut to 25 for each of them, so 50 gold pieces. Basically, he's going to get a total of 50 gold pieces, and he's going to throw in an extra 50 for you. So you will get out of
Oh.
this with a grand total of you'll get out of this. Let me see, praise 150, 175. So you're going to get out of this with 350 gold pieces.
200. How much?
Oh, I'm sorry. You're going to get out of this with 400 gold pieces.
Yes, I'm taking that. And Kenko is taking that and makes a compliment like, what kind of race is the seller?
The sell up is he basically has to make sure that these items get cleaned by the Thieves Guild. They cannot be traced back to where you found them.
Oh, no,
And-
no. I mean, oh, sorry. Yeah, that's a good. I mean, what race? Like, is he a human?
Oh,
Or-
race is he? He is a gnome.
Oh yeah. So I'm just telling him that yeah, the Kenko's telling cute little man. They call.
There you go. All right. So yes, you can mark that down, and it's not under your responsibility to tell anyone if you have extra gold or not. I will leave that to you. But if anyone really takes a look, there is a more noticeable bulge in that guy's clothes. Maybe this Kenku's packing. Yes.
Where do I put the gold in my
So this
Let's see.
gold would basically be in your backpack. You would probably get a larger purse
Okay.
to hold it. It wouldn't. I'm not going to bother with those specifics, but you would have a way to carry this with you.
Okay, 4,000 gold in my inventory.
Not 4,000.
Um,
400. I will.
Oh.
Nice try. I have ears, you know. That was sneaky. You can't Kenku me. I'm your GM. Try to Kenku me.
400 gold. So I'm
400
the richest
gold.
of the party now, I guess.
Okay, the Kenku's Adventures
yeah.
of the Night. Artonis. Well, actually, no. Zerum, you said that you were talking with Aspen. You want to talk with Aspen.
Yes, that's one of the things I do, because, like, you started asking questions, and then that all got interrupted at the dinner.
Indeed. Do we have Aspen?
Yeah.
There we
He
go.
died.
No, he's not. He can't die just because he's a cat. Sorry.
9 lives, bitch.
I have no idea what those questions were, so.
Oops.
You were kind of just asking, just to learn a little bit more kind of about everybody. It's like where kind of is everybody's from and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
As far as I remember.
Yeah, he was asking if we're going to be stuck together, if we're going to learn anything from each other, since we're all kind of strangers.
Right.
Exactly.
You are making nice with your new compatriots.
Right. I mean, Aspen at the moment's pretty much just like, we just fought a bunch of random things. This has never happened before. What the hell did I just do? So he's just
You're
kind
the
of staring off at the moment, so he's not remembering the questioning from before.
Yeah.
If this is right after the tomb thing.
It would be in the hours after, in the few hours after, yeah.
Basically, so I would have headed back to the room. I'm assuming like you did as well. And
Making sure your rings are nice and hidden.
they're in his satchel.
I have the start of a nice new horde. All right. So let's go with. So I have Yeek, I have Zerum, Artonis. Anything special between now and tomorrow morning before meeting with these two?
Well, I'm kind of curious what's up with that mace.
To get that mace, it is clearly magical, but you would need to either wield it a couple of times to get used to the effect of it, or you would need to have it have a
Someone identify it.
identify spell. Now, is someone here an acolyte? Someone was an acolyte, right?
I am.
You are.
I
As
am.
as an acolyte, you actually have access to one temple spell per day. So we
I don't
are
know
going.
what that means.
What that essentially means is most people pay for services at temples. If you wish to heal, it costs 10 gold pieces. If you wish to identify something, it costs 100 gold pieces. So on and so forth. If you wish to remove curse, remove poison, raise the dead, all these good things cost money.
Right.
You, however, have access to low-level temple spells, one per day. For essentially free, just based off of the fact that you are a religious individual, you have some pull within the temple. So you have the ability, if you wish, to probably tomorrow, sometime during the day, to talk to one of the one of the acolytes of Nod, and have them and request a temple service. That is to say, a identify free of charge. Otherwise, if anyone else does it, they'll be paying 100 gold pieces to identify.
I'll remember that.
You might be having a conversation with Artonis, like
I can get you it. I can get you it for half price.
You
Oh, we are just the most comradeish kind of.
I know. I love this, and the good part is, like, you guys are still free to do your own thing, but I'm gonna do my best to keep you together within reason. I'm not gonna force anyone to be
You're not
together.
gonna let me wander off again.
I will let you wander off. I mean, that's up to you. You might want to think differently of it after what happened last time.
You know I don't learn.
All right, I know you don't. I don't know how Tejanos in this game does. All right. So let me see. Ayul, how are you feeling?
I was thinking Ayul would probably like wander off and try to learn about the city and spend the night drinking with locals.
Spending the night drinking with locals. You know what? You actually are going to get a rumor. I am going to pass this rumor to you.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm going to pass this particular rumor to you, and you'll hear a bunch of things, but this is one that sticks out in your mind. And aside from that, Aspen, if there or Tejanos, if there is anything either of you would like to do, please go ahead and notify me.
I was gonna wander around following a couple of the Nodite acolytes, try and get some information, see if they know anything on this old religion, pseudo cult religion.
You try to hold on one second.
Beep beep.
I'm so sorry. I gotta type this out real quick.
Yes, yes. Do it.
So just to be clear, I actually wanted to maybe start a conversation with Aspen and actually
Okay.
do that.
All right, you can go ahead and you can definitely go ahead and do that, and then I can drop back to Tejanos. We'll give it, a few minutes of good RPing, and then we'll drop in. Alcione, come here. Sorry.
All right.
So, yeah, you two will be together in the same room.
So I assume that Zerum goes to the Tabaxi's room.
I thought it was.
You all are in a same kind of area. If you do request it, so basically you are in an initiate sleeping area. There are no current initiates for the temple right now, so this space was given to the 6 of you. If you do request private lodgings, they could hook you up, but right now you are all in a kind of a rack kind of area. There's multiple beds in a single wide room for you all.
Okay. I'd more than likely be playing a lyre or violin subtly and quietly in the corner, calming my nerves.
Never seen it.
Zarm, just to be clear, is still a dragon at this point. He's not in his human form.
That's fine.
Yep. Just making that clear for visuals' sake.
So how do you want to do this?
Sorry. Now I'm getting nerves. But
Well, if the Tabaxis stand there, how do you wish to approach?
So Zarm just kind of slowly approaches and listens and kind of just comes over and listens for a minute or two before speaking up.
Okay. You hear a somber tune, nothing like upbeat, it's fairly calm and somber. So, what was you?
So then, you wanted to know more of the rest of us.
Yeah. And he stops playing and yeah. I mean, I'm not really familiar with anyone here. It'd be nice to get to know some of you with everything going on.
And so if you do, I am Zarm. And I am... My road here is a bit different from the others.
Yeah, how so?
That would be from against my will. I was taken in chains,
Oh,
at least at first, for my arrival here from the wilderness.
I'm sorry to hear that. At least you're all right now, right?
I am hesitant. There is many peoples. I have not been in such a populated space, and it's unsettling.
Yeah, coming to new towns and cities, and I'm sure with what you've experienced, that's all this might be a bit uncomfortable and claustrophobic for you. Pretty good with crowds, but this all the skeleton zombie things are kind of new to me, so it seems like you can handle yourself with that, and that's mighty impressive.
I've been able to hunt in the forest for many years. I have never had to face the undead, but I can certainly handle myself. I'm more concerned with how fearful many of the races can be, or their lust for greed or power, which many times has such people seeking out my kin.
I see. I honestly, I don't quite understand the feeling of that. I've been fairly sheltered most of my life. I haven't really met too many prejudices in my lifetime, but every time I go to a city, it seems like there's always something new for people to complain about. And he kind of gives a bit of a grin, trying to lighten a bit of the mood up with people are being enslaved and stuff. And he sort of takes a grin and
So I'm outside a little chuckle. He's seems a little bit more at ease. Just kind of having this space around him.
The name's Aspen. Aspen Buckeye. I came from up north. I was in a halfling village for most of my adult life. So
Sam tilts his head to the side and he's like, I halfling village. I have never had the chance to meet those kinds of peoples.
Oh, well, they're wonderful folk. Always upbeat and happy and fairly calm and very peaceful. Helped me a lot when I was, when I first grew up with them. So I definitely needed their care.
They raised you?
Yes, in a way, yes.
No.
And he kind of retreats back to himself after that comment of, he's sort of distracted now and kind of fiddles with his instrument.
Did they teach you then in the ways of music?
Yes, absolutely. There's all manner of music and festivals and parties all the time. It could be someone's 60th birthday and a whole village will be alight with fireworks and parties, and it's some masterful musical gathering. We very, very enchanted folk. But living out in the cities has been a little different from the grassy hills.
It is definitely a time of change for many.
Yes, indeed. Especially with curses and souls and magic symbols and whatever the hell just happened. But hopefully we're all prepared for whatever's next. And he, again, kind of gives the grin and smiles a bit, giving a chuckle.
At this time, your conversation is interrupted by a slight tap on the stony door, the stony exterior of the walls next to the door, and a small kobold helper and server comes with some food. And
Adorable.
Zarum, you notice that this is the same kobold that ran away from you when told that you should change your appearance for dinner, and it comes with only a single plate of food for the tabaxi. Kind of sheepishly walks it over to Aspen, places it down, and says, "I'm very sorry to interrupt. The cook said that they don't know what you would like to eat, sir. If you could tell me, I'll pass it over to the cooks."
I will have what any other meat you have. Chicken, venison.
Oh, okay. Very well. Do you eat it raw or?
Yes.
Okay. I'll return quickly.
He gives like a toothy, like there's this big toothy grin on the dragon's face. So when he says that, it's like, oh yes, I'm ready for that meal.
You'd think a kobold would know what a dragon wants.
You'd think. You would think, but then you'd think wrong.
I see like just a bunch of stuff happening in the chat bar, and I'm like, oh, what the hell's going on? Hopefully
maybe the dragon would have like loved a dessert today, so that the kobold can't possibly notice.
Right. Okay. So with that, oh my God, Tweets is gone. Teanos, you have it's a day. You have been walking around the temple and some of the closer outskirts, trying to glean some information about this individual who calls himself Praxis the Umber, or the Spiral, or even the vision that you had from before. But there is nothing really coming. No one seems to have any common knowledge of this. You'd think that the Nodites would, the acolytes of Nod, but it is not. This is not common knowledge in any way. They appreciate your quest for greater knowledge. They think it is formidable, but they can provide none of their own for you.
Well, they're useless.
Perhaps not. Oh boy. Now, you did ask another question of me. Is that something you would wish to do right now, or shall we?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yes, you would be able to. I mean, let's just go ahead and think of this in Skyrim terms. There is an alchemy lab. There's an alchemy lab that you would be able to access within the temple proper.
Okay. I'm gonna go poke it with my alchemy supplies.
With your poke it with a stick.
Just poke it with a stick.
What's this do? Just like gently taps the fucking alchemy table with like a mortar and pestle.
So you actually meet some of the acolytes in there of various races. There are no Aarakocras, but there are orcs, half-orcs, humans, elves on your way. Every race seems to be affiliated with Nod, although it does seem like the vast majority of the non-fair-skinned humanoids, so that's to say elves and humans and half-elves and gnomes and that, they seem to mostly be acolytes of Avi, whilst the more beastly races, or the more less humanoid-looking races, seem to be more associated with Nod. It's just something you notice. You're not exactly sure why. You yourself are a follower of Nod, so maybe it makes sense. Who knows? But they, when you come into this particular room, some people try to talk to you. You're clearly not an acolyte as they are, but you manage to talk your way through. You are here as guests of the Aviite and the Nodite.
Yeah,
You
we're
have
the
to
we're
deal
the
with this.
prophet people or whatever it is. I
Right,
don't quite
you just
understand, but we're special.
you're the special ones, and they allow you full access to it.
Do you get to build everything out of Lego now?
I'm gonna shuffle up to one of the. You said there's an orc there. I'm gonna shuffle up to one of the orcs again.
Aye.
So, got any recipes that I might be new to this. To save me exploding, what you got?
To save you exploding. Well, I'm currently working on something very special right now, kind of burning the midnight oil, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. How do I make it?
Oh, well, I personally call this the oil of slipperiness. So what you do is...
Need a better name.
Well, this is for my studies. I'm not trying to reinvent I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel here. I'm trying
Think
to
about
follow
it.
the
If you're
recipe.
studying, you write in a paper, you've got to have a catchy title. Got to go with something like Slick Stream. There you go. Amazing title.
Slick Stream. I like it. Let's make
Yeah.
some Slick Stream. So, what you need is a bit of black ooze right here. Be careful with this stuff. You need a little bit of tears of a dragon over here. You need a little bit of this, and let's put this together. All right, so you and him working together. Let's go ahead and roll through this. Let's see if you can make this Slick Stream.
What am I rolling?
Okay, so you have so this is basically. Do you have performance? I don't think you do.
I mean, everyone has performance. It's whether or not they're able to successfully do things or have
Right, let me look-
proficiencies.
Because I know you have proficiency in your alchemist supplies, so we will go. Let's do this with insight. This will be an insight check for your knowledge, basically. Okay.
Slick stream sounds like flex tape.
Oh! My name's Bill Swift here, and I'm here to present.
So this is technically with a +2. This is technically a +2 because the alchemist supplies provide you with an extra proficiency bonus on this one. So actually, let me see something.
To
I want
prove
you to.
to prove
right.
Slipstream works, I cut this boat in half. I'm sorry, I can't stop thinking about that now.
Instead of insight, I want you to click on your alchemist supplies and just
Okay.
click on the word alchemist supplies. Oh my god.
Just slap it on the wall. Oh my god, this is too good.
All right. Despite the name Slick Stream that you've named it, you think that this is something you need to taste first to make sure that it's exactly as you want it to be.
It's gonna be perfect.
And in doing,
I mean, it's got to have its second uses. It's like, oh no, I'm starving, but all I've got is this trap.
That's right.
I
I
need
want
to-
He's
you
a
to-
bird. He'll probably be fine.
He'll probably be fine. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh.
Oh.
Don't
So
die
just-
again.
Go to saving throws and click Constitution. Oh, look at you.
Yeah.
So
Don't
Not
eat
all
the
sevens.
flex tape.
There's a 1 there.
there is. Wait, what? Oh, that's a +1. You get a +1 to that.
You
That's
will probably
I know.
have problems to go to the toilet for a few.
yeah. Your concoction itself, you do understand how to make it now. So if you want to write somewhere nearby oil of slipperiness, you understand how to make it, but when you attempt this, you get this overwhelming urge to retch. And amazingly enough, you move quickly. You are sliding, or you are kind of sliding around. Essentially, what oil of slipperiness does is it allows you to have what's called freedom of movement. Basically, you can move across difficult terrain. You wouldn't step on ball bearings. You wouldn't step on crampons. Nothing really prevents you from moving as fast as you want to. That's essentially what this does. But you move very quickly to the indoor privy, and you're there for pretty much the rest of the night.
That is wonderful.
Do I have to roll an attack against the
You are
privy to see how much damage is done?
No, you are not attacking the privy. But if you want to make a note that you understand how to make oil of slipperiness from now on,
Put it in additional
There you
features
go.
and traits under my bio.
there you go.
Considering the usage of ball bearings.
My,
This
You
is
can't.
very
No, that's
useful.
what it does. Freedom of movement. All right.
my name is Tay Swift here, and I've got the best product.
All right. So that
To
is.
show- to
I
show-
need.
to
I need
to
everyone
show
to
this
remember.
work.
I need everyone to remember what they did this evening, because when I write this up in the summary, I cannot forget anything. That is awesome. This was a great night.
How can you forget Tay Swift here with the greatest slipstream? To
No,
prove
I
it
love-
works, I sawed this building in half.
No,
to
it's
show this works.
We have the dragon blood obsessing over this mace over here, obsessing with making sure nothing is stolen. We have Yeek Stab, who has gone out of his way to fence a couple of items that no one knows he has. Ayul is having a fun time on the town, grabbing some useful information, as a matter of fact. Teanos has created an oil of slipperiness, which also oil of colon slipperiness. And Torch and Zerum are having a heartfelt conversation, getting into the spirit of things. And so, Torch and Zerum, you two gain a pull of the inspiration deck.
Oh,
Ta-da!
world building.
That's
Yep, I like it. I like
How
it.
do I do it again?
It's okay. I have to show it to you.
Oh.
So I
He
just
must
don't want.
maketh the decketh appearance.
I must, and so there it is.
Ah, yes.
So just pull, deal one to yourself. Keep it, and you can give it to each other. Everyone can share inspiration.
And only
Although-
one card.
Only one.
And
Although I now understand why Teanos did not want to share his other inspiration card with anyone, because he is level 2.
Whoop.
At the end of the evening,
Ooh!
Teanos has gained inspiration from sitting on the toilet. He now knows
Reflecting
how
his
to-
life.
Actually, the funny part is, as a level 2 monk, he can now move with greater speed, thanks to his wonderful new creation. All right. So with that said, I'm taking away the inspiration deck. Boop.
This
All right.
time, this means that
Interesting.
next time he gets into a predicament, he can run away without dying.
He can.
I
as a matter
did.
of
I
fact.
did. Just after we finished, Eclipse and I spoke while we were leveling up, and we both said, "Oh yeah, I could have moved like twice as far when I tried to run away after I threw the spear." I wish I'd thought about that.
Before I almost died. Yeah, you literally had a flash of your own death before before Ayul came out and saved your ass.
I thought I showed up and saved his ass.
Oh,
'cause
was
I
it
got,
you?
Yeah,
Was it
yeah. I had I can move like 90 feet.
No,
Like,
no, no.
I-
You ca-
Oh no, it was
you
the
came-
card.
You came
Oh,
to
yeah,
you came
yeah.
to physically save him. You physically saved him,
Okay.
but Tweets used his
The
inspiration
cards. Okay.
to basically make it.
You
Go
fucking
second.
owe me for
Re-
that. you son of a
rewind
bitch.
time.
Yeah, Teanos had a flash of his own impending demise. All right, the
Tails just
evening.
pulls out a card.
That's right. Just ching. This is my card.
I have a bad feeling about something. Let me just hear.
The evening comes and goes, and you all, some of, when you wake up. Oh,
Damn it.
are you using?
I was trying to give it to Tweets. It might shut him up, but sure, I'll go
Okay.
with an advantage on whatever I roll next for a d20. Don't think
Uh,
about it.
can you hide that again?
I don't know.
Let me see.
A giant is attacking the city. What do you do?
That's right.
Continue to drink.
Give it to Tweets.
I'm trying. Hold on. Stop moving it, you bastard.
I love this group.
Someone has to.
I cannot, unfortunately. Once it's out, it's out.
Oh.
Yep.
I'll go with an advantage on whatever I roll next.
Giants out, guns out. Am I right?
Giants out, guns out. So we'll do that. Actually, take card. Hold on. Let me take it, and I am going to give to. You wanted to give this to whom?
Tweets. Shut him up.
And Tweets, I need you to just hit accept trade.
I see.
So
Decline.
if you want what?
I accepted it.
If you want to give cards to each other, you have to draw. You have to drag the card, the player's icon, on the bottom. On the bottom.
I tried to drop it into his card deck thing, not his icon.
No problem. Just his icon on bottom.
My player icons are literally just names. Will it still work for me? Can I give this a test really quick?
Yeah, give it a test. You can just drag it over someone's name. Drag it over their name in the bottom left.
Bottom left. All right.
Yep.
Tried with fleeks and nothing happened. Oh, hang on. Maybe I have to actually drag the card. Oh, I see it.
There
It'll glow yellow. I got it. Yeah.
Yep. And
I
then
can also steal your cards, by the way.
Yep.
What?
Yeah, we can steal each other's cards.
Oh, well, I suppose you could. I mean, I recommend not doing that, but sure. You. All right.
We already established that our group is not exactly forged in
Yeah. You've got dragons hiding their thievery. You've got Kenku hiding their thievery. We'll see about this. All right.
Not saying anything. He's just not saying anything.
He's just not saying anything. There's no need to know. They're on a need-to-know basis, and they don't need to know. All right. You all have a more or less restful evening. Get no hangovers or anything like that for anyone that was imbibing or any of the sort. And upon the morning, you are summoned by some of the acolytes to meet with the Aviite and the Nodite in their private chambers. And again, Zerum, you are allowed in the temple to be in your natural. They still have the request that should you leave the temple, you be in your human form.
That's actually why he didn't leave last night, because he had used up all his uses.
Yeah. Okay. With that said, in the private chambers of the Aviite and the Nodite, they greet you and offer you to sit down in front of them. There are chairs and seating arrangements, not for a full-fledged feral dragon, but for everyone else. They have the ability to sit. And the two of them are standing side by side in front of a very large desk. There are two chairs behind the desk, clearly one for each of them, but they are standing in front. And at this point, it does not matter which one is speaking, but if you do wish to know, let me know. So together, they say, you have brought brave news by mentioning Nodisa's name.
Sorry?
You said that there was a dragon blood who passed this knowledge to you.
Dragonborn!
Dragonborn! I'm gonna get this.
Dragonborn are noble folk, for whom brave tales are often spoke.
And yet, there are only 3 people in the known world who we thought knew of this name. The 2 of us and the Queen herself. Clearly, we were mistaken.
I certainly don't trust the Queen. Not that I'm paranoid, but
Not that you're
I've
paranoid.
decided to be paranoid.
Okay.
But and you
Is
someone.
this-
And you're a fan of Nod.
Nod. Praise be to Nod.
Praise the sun.
who is this?
Is that a
Nodisa?
flaming secretary bird on the map?
It is. Nodisa, and this one, this is Molsha talking, the Nodite. Nodisa is an ancient legend of the Church of the Moons, of our temple. It was said that her and her sister were responsible for Nod itself stopping.
Oh.
In the time before this legend, tales were told of Nod moving in joyous harmony with Evie. But after the tale and the legend of Nodisa and Katavi, her twin sister, the moon has stopped, and we believe that it is something to do with Nodisa and Katavi. But the legends are varied. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of ways that this could have happened. But we do know that Nodisa and Katavi were real, but their legend has something to do with Nod stopping and the creation of the Eye of Ilanatar.
Could that be why her church was so violent? Supposedly, Nadisa's church exiled her and punished her and stuff and whatnot for what they feared she would do.
The Aviite speaks up and intentionally interrupts. That is one of hundreds of possibilities of Nodisa. Do not think us ignorant. And he kind of quiets himself down. I apologize. Continue.
They were saying basically that at least they had felt that Nodisa was betrayed, and that they could not destroy her, so they shattered her into basically a million pieces. And that's the marks.
Huh. And what say you, monk? As he nods towards Tejanos.
Sorry, I stopped paying attention after I was so rudely interrupted by the light-based loser.
He bristles in this kind of, just a very beautiful looking man. He bristles with a hint of frustration in his eye and huffs. Lord Dragon, what you say is one of, again, hundreds of possibilities. The church has been known to make mistakes in the past, but none as grievous as destroying an innocent person. Especially not someone who's seemingly as special as Nodisa is.
The truth of the matter is unknown. However, what is known is that these marks exist, and we have all received, who have these marks, have all received visions of others, and there's a cascade of them.
For pretty much anyone who is looking at Aviite Taladin, when you say that, there is a flash of kind of either anger, rage, jealousy, an unpleasant emotion flashes across his eyes when you say that. We understand, Lord Dragon, but we cannot make any assertion that what this person, this Dragonborn of blue scales told you, this praxis, and he practically spits out the word, is the truth. There are legends of the twin sister Katavi being the one who was betrayed by the church. There are stories that Nodisa saved the church from her evil sister Katavi. It is impossible to discern which are true and which are lies.
And
that's why I'm looking at what is right before us. These marks are practically interact with magic and raise the dead, as they would have said by some echo being called to the other pieces.
He's got a point.
You do have a point. And I promise to all of you that we, and he gestures towards Mulsha, will into it. But be careful of speaking that name, lest some other fiends of this, friends of this praxis, can hear you. Just use caution. And at that moment, a servant steps in. Now, this servant is a human and looking very regal. This is a very, very buoyantly dressed individual, looking to be a servant of someone of great stature. He steps up and, with great fanfare, announces, "Queen Atane arrives."
Oh.
Paranoia
And
kicks in.
paranoia kicks in. Just your tail feathers just go. The Aviite and Nodite both nod in his direction. Very well. Please show the queen in. Well, and he steps out. And Mulsha states, "Well, it seems you will have the honor of meeting our queen today. We had hoped that we would be able to show you her presence in the upcoming days due to your bravery last night and your association with the events that have locked down our city, but apparently she has come to us. Please make yourselves and she looks to Zarum and holds her tongue. Never mind. At that point, is anyone doing anything specific before the queen arrives?
Would
So they were like, did they basically they were about to say make them yourselves look presentable?
Yes.
I'm
that
gonna
is
do an
it.
insider check on them, just if it's gonna be an issue that I'm a dragon right here and before them.
Okay, insight check then, please. All right. God, Tay, I just now read this, bastard. You believe that your intuition tells you that maybe at some other time this would cause an issue, but inside of the Terminus Temple, where it has been oft repeated, there are no secrets in either light or darkness. That this is not only okay or acceptable, but expected.
It's expected because we're here where no secrets may lie.
Right.
Oops! Oh, I accidentally clicked that.
What did you do to? What did you do, and to whom did you do it?
I
Trying
will
to
be
steal
right
my
back.
slipstream.
You don't have any right now.
I accidentally clicked it. I would have. I mean, I would have to announce what I do first and anyway.
I only accidentally stole everybody's armor, equipment, and gold. I don't know how that happened.
I think that would be a bit
might wanna-
obvious.
Yeah, Arconis, you might want to check your bag again.
Everyone looks over to the
It seems
Kinku
like
and
a
it's just
mat-
covered in just junk shoved into the clothing.
All right. While everyone gets themselves together, Zarum, you contemplate whether or not you should indeed change form. You think the better of it, and with guards on either side bearing great armor, arrives the queen. And she gracefully walks up to you, looking very much like she does in her picture. And
What do you know about Nadisa?
you seriously?
Wow.
Wait.
Wow.
Wait. I need to know if that was serious or not.
Yeah.
Oh my
Dropping the ball.
Someone wants to lose his head today.
Apparently.
Who is announcing this?
She stares at you specifically, Teanos, and at the rest of the party, and then at the two
So
wide-eyed,
a couple of steps to the side.
the Aviite
Yeah.
and the Nodite, and she looks back to her guards, and she gives them a nod in one direction and then another, and the guards filter out of the room and close the doors behind her.
Well, I'm just stood here, hands on my
She-
hips, chest bared.
She looks to the Aviite and the Nodite, past you, to those two, and says, "It seems that you've been having some interesting conversations lately,
They know less than we do.
and very few, know of Disa. I must admit, my lord, and who might you be?
Me?
You, with the very wide beak."
I think she just called you
It's
ugly.
on.
and the kangaroo is
For context, that blunt thud in the background was my pizza. As I
Me
threw it
cutting
down.
I mean, the widest beak has my kangaroo, I guess.
The wide beak is a comment that he has basically loose lips, but seeing as how he doesn't have lips, he's a bird. The turn of phrase for someone who speaks a lot when it regards Kenku or Arakura is wide beak. It is not an insult to your appearance. It is a mention of your gift.
I
of
clearly
gab.
don't know that.
Well, apparently not. You're about to learn it. And the Nodite and Aviite, as everyone look at, my queen, they discovered Nodisa in the catacombs last night. While they were rescuing us from the rage of the undead, they claim to have met an individual with knowledge of Nodisa. And she cocks her head, and it looks extremely surprised. Well, that is something that we will have to discuss together, clerics. But that is not the meaning for my visits. I simply arrived to offer my thanks to these fine individuals who came to the rescue of my subjects last evening.
No problem.
And Aspen gives like what he thinks a bow is in this city, so not
Understood.
familiar with this land's rules.
Okay. She seems very genial. She is very appreciative of any show of respect towards her. She does not seem extremely demanding, and in fact, anything you may have heard about the queen so far is that she is a very reasonable individual who is actively working to turn around the image of Smor, the previous deposed king Jaseth. So she is by all accounts, she's an extremely reasonable human. And
yeah, my Kenku. Tell me as soon as I can talk with my Kenku.
Sure,
So,
please do.
Continue.
No, that is
Yeah. She said her thanks, and the Kenku asked for a reward.
ask for reward.
Yeah, reward.
Ah, well, I see that nothing gets by you. I will ensure that you have access to the temple services, and I will make sure that that you are properly rewarded, but potentially not here. Um, she opens the door, or she knocks on the door, and the door opens, and she kind of pokes her head out and says, "Can you instruct Lord Highmark? Can you instruct Lord Hydemark that I would like him in here as well, please?" And the door closes, and in barely a minute later, a regal individual walks in, and he is wearing not kingly robes or attire, but he is clearly a lord of some great standing. and he bows his head towards the queen when he steps in.
I bit my
And the-
tongue as I was about to shout, "What do you know about Nadissa?" But I bit my tongue. It really hurt.
If not, everyone else will bite it for you. And he looks to the queen and says, "My queen, I apologize. I did not know that you would request me in for your conference with these individuals. We are still late for breakfast, however, I should point out." And she nods to him. "I know, and I do appreciate you taking the time to escort me along to the temple on your way to the manor. But I just had a wondrous idea. These six are the heroes who protected us from whatever event occurred inside of the hall last night. Which I will be gaining more information from you, clerics." And they nod of "Certainly, queen, certainly, my queen." And he looks kind of annoyed as if he expects what is about to be said. "Yes, I realize that, my queen. I believe that we should invite them to your play 2 evenings from now."
It's not a
Oh.
musical, is it?
But my queen, surely they're..." And he gives this look to the six of you in this kind of surprised look. And this is a regal-looking human. But my queen, surely there can be some other way. We need not bother them with the niceties of the manor. "Oh no, I insist. They are heroes. They can use some relaxation, and we can properly praise them at your estate."
Can I
Yes.
with my Kenku give her some compliments just to improve the standing, like a
Sure.
persuasion thing? Okay, Kenku says nice thing to Queen. Oh.
Wait, so the compliment is, "I say nice things to queen"?
No. The compliment is you're shiny woman.
You are
Very shiny woman.
That's about as nice as it can get from a Kenku.
That is. Oh, you can see that Lord Hydemark, in his stead, he kind of sneers down at you when you say that. Unbeknownst to the queen does not notice him. She is looking at the six of you, but the human, the Lord, gives this kind of sneer when you say that, and she chuckles and laughs. "That is so sweet. I have never received a compliment from a Kenku before." Oh,
Can Aiuda say something as well?
yes.
All right. So after hearing Hydemark's name when the queen was talking to him, he kind of has been sitting there the whole time, sort of mulling it over in his head, like Hydemark. That name sounds familiar. And then and suddenly comes to me. He's like, "Oh, I remember from last night. I heard a rumor about you. You are holding a play 3 days from now. So it is true."
Of course you would hear something of that. My plays are famous in all of Samara. But
would I have known about this, by the way, being a bard?
being a bard, I will say
At least
that
to know if it was true that his plays are sought after, or if he's just bullshitting.
he is not a creator of plays. He is more of a producer. I would say. He is more of a producer. So I will say that you may have heard of the name in passing. Now it kind of points out you're not sure what, but you know that he is involved with plays and entertainment of sort.
Right.
But not that a creator, but basically he enjoys it so much that he pays for it. He is a producer, if we were to give a modern term to the phrase.
Right.
And she looks to you, to the six of you, and you see, Lord Hydemark, your knowledge and renown is across the world, as it well should be. They must come to your play tomorrow, 2 evenings from now. They must, simply. I insist. And she gives this kind of "you cannot stop me on this" look to him. Very well, my queen. I will make the arrangements, but I must first. May it please you if I speak with them in private? And the queen says, "Of course, I will meet you at your estate for our breakfast. Please don't be too long. And Aviite and Nodite, may I please speak with you as well about this?" And she looks to the six of you. "Surprising revelation from last night." "Very well, my queen," they say. And the queen and the Aviite and the Nodite depart the room. And as they depart the room, two guards, they look to be loyal, the guards of the Lord, enter the room and just kind of flank either door, not keeping him out of their sight. And as the door closes, he looks to the six of you and sighs. "So, I hear that you are to be commended for your actions last evening."
And I hear that some of the townsfolk don't like you too much.
I don't like you.
Well,
Kenku likes you.
I don't
Let
know
me-
you.
may I appropriately say that in this context, I would rather not have any of your or feathers or scales mucking up and dirtying my beautiful home.
So we're
So,
stopping at yours for the next 2
yes.
nights, the Queen said. So let's go.
I'll have you
Go.
know I preen every day.
Precisely. It's
So,
filthy.
he hates us.
He does not like
Can I persuade?
Emperor, but yes.
And no, not persuasion. I mean insight, or
Inside
whatever.
into you don't need to do. He's making it quite obvious. He does not like the bestial races.
Then I can I persuade use persuasion on him, like trying.
What? I
Or
don't
is he
think you can persuade him to enjoy you.
I actually would
Oh.
like to attempt a persuasion of some kind, if you wouldn't mind.
Okay, and yeah, okay, understood. Attempt a persuasion. So, let's have. I will have one of you because you're both kind of trying to do something
Nice.
charismatically polite to him. I would like for one person to roll, and that other person will give an advantage to that one. So I will have who wishes to do this roll. I think, perchance, the bard.
I mean, I was going to ask something very different, so I don't know if this would be in addition to what he's saying.
In that case, let's split it up. Kenku, we're gonna go with you first. So Yeek.
Yeah. I think I switched to intimidation.
Oh, Jesus.
Intimidation. All right. You're going to try and intimidate.
And
What is your goal? What is your goal?
I tell him he's a racist and he's too dumb to see our potential.
Oh.
That I don't like him. And I don't like his mindset.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
Fuck. That's...
And I
Jesus.
don't want to see your stupid play.
Wow.
You a racist? That's the greatest thing.
And you know what? You know what?
Wow.
Fleeks, or correction, Aspen, before Aspen can get his own words out, before anyone else can say anything, he just puffs up in this indignant stature, and this is the kind of animalistic behavior that I'm talking about. I will ensure that you have the night of your lives, beasts. And he nods for his two guards to leave the room with him, and he keeps the doors open as he quickly departs. And he will remember. He will remember that. You guys ever play? You guys ever play a Telltale game, a Telltale
Yes.
adventure game?
Yeah.
He
It's
will
basically
remember
a meme
that.
now.
Yeah, he will remember that. What did you just do
Is-
exactly?
So I just... Aspen's just standing there like, oh, all right.
This guy was whole of butt.
Artonis just spreads
So
his
what did you do to
arm
intimidate? What
and
did you
stares
do
at the
to
Kenku
intimidate?
wordlessly.
The Kenku is staring at the Kenku word.
The
Ayul
Artonis.
high fives the Kenku.
Or low. You low five. You low five.
Yeah, low five the Kenku.
Low five.
So, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
What do we
So
got?
what did you just do that intimidated him so badly? What happened?
The Kenku called him a racist. And,
That he do not see the potential of speak people and lizard people and fussy cat people.
fussy cat or
They are
fancy
very
cat?
shiny. And he poofs up like they poof up their chest flukes like.
Artonis still.
Artonis still is just
Artonis-
staring.
Artonis still just stands there with his arms wide and stares at the Kenku.
What the? With arms wide open.
I like you, Kenku.
Oh, you have
I got
you,
a compliment from.
you got a compliment from the rude bird.
Yes.
That is-
Thank you, Root Bird.
Is he so he left the room. Where is he at right now adjacent to our room?
He is stomping out. He is late for breakfast with the queen.
Zam, that's at a lot.
Could I use the feline agility to sneak out of the room and kind of
Most-
get a talk to him?
Certainly. So everyone else is there staring at the Kenku like, what the mother of pearl? And you zip on out to try and catch up to him. And he, as you approach him from behind, he turns around and he says, "I thought I smelled dirty cat."
So Aspen, runs up to him, does the gentleman, like, puts his hat down, puts it on his chest, and as an entertainer myself, I completely understand if, having certain hooligans show up to a show might hurt the audience attendance. I might have another idea if this really does become a problem. We don't want to be any beasts of burden here, but perhaps I had to.
Make one of them.
You get a chuckle out of it.
I had to sneak the name in.
You did.
Perhaps if you're able to give us compensation, we might not need to watch any play, and might. I'm just suggesting it.
There will be no compensation. The Queen has made it quite clear that you are to receive whatever favors of Samora at my personal estate, at the production of my personal play 2 nights from now. Would I be able to change that? Trust me, would know.
I thought I'd just throw the idea out there. I know me and maybe one other of my compatriots might not like the attention, but if that is, I suppose, what she wants, I guess the Queen will get exactly that.
Then what you do is you get in, you eat my food, you wipe your paws off at the door, watch my play, and then leave. Do I make myself clear?
Very clear, yes.
Good. Then I'll see you 2 nights from now.
And he puts the hat back on his head and nods. And what were you gonna say?
I'm
it
not
me?
saying it.
Oh,
Or is Eclipse a worryingly convincing racist?
What the? Here's how it goes. I just imagine what I would hate to hear, and I'm saying that through his voice.
I mean, with cats, I assume he just pretends to be Tay. He's
Pretty
had
much.
more than enough time to soak up the.
I just think, what would Tay do?
What would Tay say?
WWTS.
So
What would Tay say?
Eclipse not
Yes.
only more than once has equated himself to God, but he's now equating me to Jesus.
Oh, for crying out loud!
I like this.
All right. With that said,
Let's move on.
With that said, we are going to move on. So, we are going to do what I am calling a montage. So, this montage
What 80s
is
music is playing?
there can be
Eye of
80.
China.
What's that? Eye of the Tabaxi.
Yeah.
And,
That'll be what I play for the.
That's right. Eye of the Tabaxi. There you go. Okay, so what is going to happen is this, and I need everyone to listen closely on this because I think it's fun and it will add to the story. So, from now to 2 days in the future, the beginning of the next action scene is going to be arrival at this person's house and home. But there are 2 days for that to happen. There's 2 days of time that we need to take care of. So this is when you can get the mace identified if you so desire. This is when you can do anything else that you want. But so this is how the montage is going. I am going to name a person. That person is going to give a problem that the group encounters during the 2 days. So the problem could be meet another racist. You have something stolen from you. You come down with a bad case of slipstream.
Having a drink.
There is a
everything.
there is a large weather. There is bad weather, and a piece of the temple tower has fallen over, and has injured some people outside. Whatever problem you can think of, one person will create a problem, and I will name another person to solve the problem. That is to say, to simply say how the event was completed. Someone gives the beginning. Yeah, someone begins the event, someone else finishes the event. Do you understand?
Oh boy.
So this is going. So this, I'm hoping this will take no more than 10 minutes tops.
It'll take 30.
Yeah, I'm hoping for no more than
Per
10 minutes
person.
tops per person. But I just want to point out the mace will not be identified unless someone creates a problem with identifying the mace. So identifying the mace itself must be a problem. And if it is not identified in the span of time in this montage, you will not have it. You will have it, but it will not be identified upon the completion of the montage.
I
So,
want it identified. I'm just going around yelling at everyone that this needs to be identified.
all right.
I'm going to be
So-
manic.
Well, the good part is you can say how it gets identified, but you must create a problem. So, Artonis, since you really want this thing identified, I will let you say the first problem that the group encounters as a whole, and then I will pick the person that fixes the problem or ends the scenario. So, Artonis, what is the problem?
Oh boy.
By the way, I'm not sure if it's only in game on Roll20, but Serum is gone.
Oh, Zerum, he is also gone in Roll20.
I'm assuming it was
Internet connection, probably.
internet.
Yeah, so seeing as how this is kind of a montage scene, this is okay. We will.
I've got the 80s music playing.
We got. There
Are
you go.
you the tabaxi, so swift and so strong?
Here, wait a minute, wait a
I
minute, wait a minute.
forgot the lyrics.
Hold on 1 second. I've got something for you all.
Oh boy.
And Aspen will be playing this.
All right, no
This
careless.
is, I hope I'm not. The Kenku is not ending up in the private rooms of the Queen.
Nope. So Artonis, what? So we're gonna start the montage right now. Artonis, what I mean by problem is you can say while you went, Tejanos refused to get the item identified. So when you took it to someone to get identified, he tried to steal it. Or he tried to replace it with a fake and keep it for his own. Something like that. That is what I mean by a problem.
Yeah,
Leave
I'm
these
just going to
things.
I'm just going to say that our Kenku stole it.
Okay,
Kenku.
that is fine. So in the process of attempting to identify this, it turns out that it has been absconded with, and we know that it was Yeek Stab who did it. So I will leave it upon Yeek Stab. You have attempted to take this item away either before. Oh no, you have taken it after it has been identified. So the item itself has been identified as a mace of sleep.
So you hit someone in the head and they go to sleep.
You,
But-
you basically, what it is it is a +1 item.
Okay. Then because
and there
the
you go to
Kenku
sleep,
wouldn't steal from his flock. That's one of his deep integrated.
Sure.
He
No,
just
it
took
is.
it.
Yep.
He took it to show it to a contact he has in the city because he maybe he knows that this guy could not know something because maces are kind of a symbol of tricksters and
Okay.
yeah, it's a lot of you see them a lot of thievery, and he took it
So-
to show it
So it turns. So it turns out the problem was the Kenku stole it. It turns out the Kenku did not steal it. He had a great idea of where to go to identify it for free, and he simply thought it would be fun to surprise you all that it had been identified upon return. He didn't actually steal it. So Artonis, in your hand is a mace of sleep +1. I will fill
Okay.
in the details later, but essentially, yes. When you bash someone with it, if you wish, they may have a chance to go to sleep.
Oh my god, this is going to be so useful, Kenku.
Okay, now Yeek Stab, because you solved that last problem, you will create a new problem.
Yeah, the problem is I'm not sure if Tianus likes having permanently the nickname Rude Bird.
That is-
may be a personal problem.
It might be a personal problem. Okay, so this is so the problem is
A
what?
social
You
one.
afraid of him, or
Tianus should try to get another nickname.
okay? So the problem is we're gonna try to make this something that can be solved.
But the problem is that the Kenku is worried that the other
Yeah.
Aarakocra will be offended because of the nickname.
Yeah. So the
Zeron's
problem
back
is,
on roll 20, by the way.
I see. Okay, I see him back on roll 20. He hasn't popped back up here yet. So the problem is, Tejanos is beginning. The Kenku is beginning to fear that he is not making as strong a connection with Tejanos due to the. He doesn't know why. He thinks it's something to do with the phrase "rude," but he doesn't know why that would make him upset. Tejanos, how does this problem get fixed?
I'm simply going to explain to the Kenku that every time he refers to me as Rude Bird, I'm going to point out my cloak and say it needs a matching hat. I'll call you Hat Bird.
And Kenku doesn't get it. Hat bird, huh? Kenku not wearing hat.
So basically, the problem was resolved in the sense of Yeek. You now realize that Tejanos is not being offended so much
I need a
of that. You think he is still an okay member of the flock.
Yes, yes.
Now.
But I need a new nickname.
You do need a new nickname.
Can I perception on him to see?
Can you what? Perception on him?
Honestly, I
Perception check
imagine.
On. Yep. Continue.
I was gonna say, I imagine, given like the Kenku's confusion at why he's being called Hatbird, he might think that Teanos wants a hat.
Maybe that's it. Maybe he maybe you
Yes,
want to be
yes.
Hatbird.
I will call him Hatbird from now on.
Okay, he is Hatbird. All right, and Zerum, are you there with us?
I have now finally gotten my internet back, but I need water.
Okay, get some water. All right, Teanos, you solved the last problem, so you will now create the next problem.
So have we collected the mace from Flix's contact?
The mace is
Yet.
back. Yep. Yes, the mace is back. Unless you want to say that there was a problem.
In fact, on the way back from collecting the mace, there is a little old tavern lady. She comes rushing out to the group and says, please help, the hoodlums," and just runs off.
The hoodlums. All right, this is a vague problem. I like this. And I am going to give this over to Ayul. Ayul, the problem is upon retreat, we're walking back as a group. We have cleared up the problem of the mace. We know that
down here.
we know that Yeek was just trying to be nice, and now this woman has popped out of a tavern. The hoodlums, the hoodlums.
And she ran off afterwards, yeah?
She ran back into the tavern.
Back into the tavern. All right.
And I'm back
Well,
again.
Ayul kind of like looks at the rest of the group, shrugs, and then just walks to the tavern to see what's up. In that case.
And you have to describe what is up. So you have to describe what the actual problem was. If it was hoodlums, if it was not, what happened and how did it get fixed?
When he gets to the tavern, he sees a couple of figures running away, giggling to themselves, and what has happened is that they have simply walked to the tavern and through an open window, thrown an entire bag of rats into the tavern. So, with a very deep sigh, given his last encounter with rats,
More rats.
He gets Aspen.
Yeah, he gets Aspen, and the two of them walk through the tavern with brooms, shooing the rats out for the old lady.
Oh, I like that. That's sweet. Okay.
So where does all come from?
So what we're doing, Zerum, is we are doing what I call a montage. This is a quick problem and solution to take care of the time between scenes, basically.
Okay.
So what is going to happen is Tweets is going to create Ayul is going to create a problem that the group is going to encounter sometime between the last scenario and the next scenario, which is, again,
Yep.
2 days from.
Yep, I got it. Okay. Get the gist of it.
All right, Tweets.
All right. So the next problem is, as they are leaving the tavern, another figure who seems to be wearing sort of innocuous clothing, nothing that would really make them stand out, looks kind of like a beggar, runs into Ayul, panicked, and hands him what appears to be an eggshell, and it's quite a large eggshell. And he just simply says, "Take this, don't let them catch me," and then runs off. And after he runs off, a large group of people who appear to be dressed similarly, but like they're obviously like ruffians, sort of tattered clothing, they're a little bit bigger. They haven't seen where those other guys run off, and they don't see the shell. They just kind of like run through the crowd. They're, talking amongst themselves, bickering. So Ayul hands the shell off to Zerum and is like, "Does this look familiar to you?"
So Zerum, This is going to be your solution. It can happen any way you want. We're not rolling. It could be a misunderstanding. It could be exactly what it sounds like. Whatever Tweets has going on in his feathery brain there. It could be something of your own design. But what has happened to conclude this suspicious meeting with an egg?
So it's a full egg? Or eggshell?
Was it a full egg?
We'll say yes.
Yes, it was a full egg.
Oh gosh.
Egu.
And you can be as silly as you want. We are the Church of the Great Omelet. Give us our egg. You can be whatever you want.
I mean, you just gave us like the best situation.
I'm sorry, I'm
so.
just dumbfounded. I am not too used to this format at all, and so I'm
Understand.
like, okay.
I like to keep us on our toes, and this is a fun way to kind of flesh out the world too.
Yeah, it is. It's fun, definitely. I'm just like dumbfounded with this scenario. That's like, and I have to resolve it now. It's like, oh
You
gosh,
have to
I'm
resolve it
thinking
right now.
things up.
And it's not what you specifically do to fix it. It can be the entire party. So you can say Artonis does something, or Yeek Stab scares the people away, and you pass the egg on to someone else and pretend it never happened.
So,
I mean, it can literally be
here's
anything.
what we have Aspen kind of start singing in a song and distracting the ruffians for a few moments.
Okay.
As they like gather a crowd and like around Aspen, like, and it kind of distracts the. And so we have time to actually inspect the egg and see what the heck this thing is that we have in our hands.
What is it? You tell me.
Um,
So you give the entire beginning, middle, and end of how this concludes.
Yeah, I know, and I'm trying to figure out what I'm trying to come up with an idea. Trying to find some middle ground of what the egg would be.
Okay.
It's an Easter egg.
Yes, it's an egg. I'm gonna say that like it's definitely not an egg that any of them have seen. It's not like a common egg. It's not like a chicken egg
Cadbury
or something
cream
else
egg.
like that. It's
Cadbury
not
cream.
something like it's not like an egg from any of their folks, like a dragon egg or anything else.
Is it the
They
kind that
don't
has the
recognize
chocolate and the toys inside the chocolate? Because I need it.
It's a Kinder egg.
It's a giant Kinder egg.
No.
Okay.
Like it's some kind of. It seems like it's the like an egg of some kind of. Usually, generally, I'd say powerful creature, like
Okay.
mythic or something else like that. And so they so what did the person say? It's like, don't let them catch him.
Don't let them catch. Don't let them catch.
He said,
this.
"Yeah, take this. Don't let them catch me." And then he bolted.
Yep.
So the so the distraction keeps them busy while then they oh gosh, what are they going to do with the egg now?
You tell me.
It's up to you.
It's
I know.
entirely up to
I'm
you.
like, I'm thinking out loud as I'm solve the. I'm thinking out loud as I come up with solutions. So I guess the distraction works. It creates a crowd. It makes it way too hard for the ruffians to get through, and so the person manages to run off. While our group goes to like a menagerie within within the city of animals and creatures and stuff like that to figure out what this thing is.
Okay.
And they find it to be something that's commonly used for like a wizard or something like that as a familiar.
There you
Can
go.
we keep it? Can we keep it?
No, you cannot keep things in the montages. You begin and end montages with all of your health and all of your money and all of your items, and nothing changes. This is just a montage.
And so they explained that they had been actually expecting this to be this delivery to be made, but like they knew that some others were trying to snatch it for themselves.
Well done. I like it. So you deliver the eggs safely to the menagerie, and the wizard gets his familiar. That is what I'm talking about. That's a solution. I like it. Because that's probably not anything that Tweets was thinking of. I can guarantee. All right. So now, Zarum, you are going to create a problem, and I'm going to decide either. I'm going to decide. Torch is going to give it the solution. Then Torch gives a problem. Artie makes the solution, and then we're done. Zarum, give us a problem.
A Tarask shows up.
Zarum, give us a problem. I'm
Yeah,
skipping
that'd be
Torch.
so.
No!
That'd be terrible. Just destroy the
I
city.
think you're missing the concept of a montage.
Okay.
All right, Zarum.
The moon
This is
crashes.
closer to 30 minutes than 10 minutes. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So here's the thing. A bunch of kobolds are having a celebration.
Oh.
They're having a party. It's going great, but they get a little crazy, and they actually start setting everything on fire.
Uh-oh. All right. So one of the evenings, there's some rowdy pyromaniac kobolds mucking around town right near you guys. Torch, what do you do?
To set the setting a little bit better, there's like a bonfire and stuff like that, and other things, and like that's actually in a fairly open like central square.
Or
But then they accidentally set some other things on fire, like flags and other things,
Okay.
and it's getting a little out of hand. Carts, etc.
All right. And I'm supposed to give the solution to this.
so give the
Yeah.
solution. Use any or all or none of the party members. It ends however you wish.
All right. Well, after these, the kobolds setting the place on fire, the party gets together and decides on a plan. And to calm the kobolds down, the tabaxi and our sorcerer sort of entertain them and distract them, and then set them to sleep. And
He bash him on the head with a mace.
I was going to say with a serenade of the lute, but that's even
Yes.
better. So while they're doing that, plus Zarum would be there, of course, Kobold's going, "Oh my god, it's a dragon!" Well, everybody else, the Arakakra, rush to the nearest fountains, grabbing water, flying up into the sky and dropping
you
it
go.
on the flames, with the Fleeks's Kinku not being able to do that, just sort of tossing it on the side of a fire, saying, "I'm helping."
And can we say that Tweets catches on fire just like in this picture here?
Oh, yes, of course. No. Obviously, that is actually the depiction of Tweets coming out of a fire, saving
That's
some
right.
old lady's bread and
Oh.
valuables. So everybody helps.
So he saved her valuables and her bread.
A
The
bread.
bread looked important. It was made of love. I couldn't let it burn.
It's delicious bread.
That's exactly what I meant. Exactly 100% what I meant. Of course.
All
Of
right.
course.
Okay, very good job. So you managed to quell the fires and the kobold with the help of magical means. And we're going to say it is now basically the day of going to this play. And there is one more problem. Torch, what is the problem that Artonis must fix?
Well, after a long, busy day of running around town, doing all sorts of adventures and odd jobs, almost setting the city on fire and narrowly getting done with that with singed feathers, everybody settles down at a tavern, has a bit of song and drink, and the problem is who will pay the bill?
Oh
problem-
boy.
The problem is everyone looks around is like, wait a minute, I don't have the cash. Did you remember the cash? Okay, Artonis, the problem is that you are in danger of dining and ditching.
All right, let me think. Um, do I know how much money the Kenku has?
You have no idea how much
No,
money
no
the
idea.
king has.
You can solve this in any like creative
Yeah.
method as well.
However you want.
I know. Um, um, phew. I'm just looking at if I can maybe do something with my little prediction spell.
Yeah, you most certainly can. You can say you um, managed to use that spell and it has completely wowed the tavern owner, and that pays off your bill for as long as you provide entertainment for the rest of the lunch hour. Your
Well,
entire
I'm creating an illusionary image of gold nugget, give it the proprietor, and then yell, "Run!"
So you do dine and ditch. You create illusionary gold to pay off the tab, and you quickly shuffle everyone out as it is time to get yourselves ready at the temple and to go
And
to
and
the
and when I'm
estate.
done, I'm gathering everyone in a circle and saying, "It was really terrible for me to do this. And if I knew that we had any amount of money, I would have paid it. Unfortunately, you're so poor. You're so poor.
The Kenku just shrugs.
My heart is heavy. My heart is heavy.
Oh
This
my
is
God, I
not.
love it.
This is not. This is not befitting a creature of my station.
I want to roll
That is
insight
all.
on that bullshit. I'm kidding.
No,
I'm kidding.
no.
Yes.
That's
All right.
beautiful. All right, guys, thank you so much. That was a beautiful montage. That did take about 30 minutes, but I like it. That tells us what we did in the meantime. You still had adventures. They were small, they were exciting, but just understand that I will, if it is okay with people, I will do this again in the future should the need for a montage arise.
Okay.
Sure.
Sure.
Okay. So with that said, we are where you are going. I want everyone to look at the map and pull out all the way up by. It looks like my screaming head. This my screaming face. This little area right here. See that?
Yes.
I noticed that one earlier.
Yeah, that is where you are going. You are heading outside of the gates, and you are heading towards this estate out here.
Can I buy hats on the way?
I have a
Can
question.
buy hats on the way. Yes. Answer.
Okay, I buy then I buy 10 hats on the way.
Okay. You have enough hats,
10 hats.
and Zerum
How much gold?
requested to be in your human form when you arrive.
So
What,
how
what?
is
I'm sorry, what?
You are requested to be in your human.
Yeah, he was going to do that anyway. He was
Just
going to
making
make sure that he was, of the day, he was going to be in his human form. He would have went to
Just
sleep the night before in human form.
Yep.
So,
Gotcha. All right.
How-
Yes.
how is Teanos' character going to stay in the shadow the whole way there?
It's going to be tough.
Under an umbrella.
I'm gonna have an argument for the next 20 minutes about I don't want to leave. Please don't make me leave. I don't even want to
Now-
go see this crappy show because it sounds like it's going to be a musical. I don't even like musicals. Who cares about musicals? No one likes musicals.
I like musicals.
Shut up. No one cares. I don't want to do it.
All right. So you depart out the third Abbey gate, and there are some trees and some smaller lodgings on its way over here. And as a matter of fact, as you start to get outside of, and I'm sorry for my bird, guys. I'm so very sorry.
That's all right.
The
If you
bird's
can hear-
okay.
If you can hear her screeching, she's like, "Why? Pay attention to me." As you start to get outside of the city, and it's not that far. It's not that far. You can see the roads coming, but as you get away from the guarded area, basically, Zerum, I need everyone to make a perception check.
Ooh, perception.
Ooh, persuasion.
Well, I must be drunk again.
Yeah, I was drunk.
I think the dragon sorcerer hit himself in the head with his mace.
Nah, he just shared a
Probably.
little with the Dragonborn. That's all.
All right, and Zerum. Because this actually
Zerum?
involved this one's actually very important for Zerum.
Serum is
Serum.
dead.
We killed him.
Nope,
Oh,
there he is.
nice. Zerum, and for everyone, as you're walking down, there are. It is getting later in the evening, and the crowds are thinning and dying down. Most people are still slowly trickling into the gate. There is a lot of security protections getting people in and out of the gate, but you actually have special permission to move in and out thanks to the captain and also thanks to the queen, who has notified, trust me, you can't miss these people, let them through. And
I might have to trust you, but I'm not trusting her.
As you're meandering through the passage through the wide path towards the estate, there seems to be a slight commotion. Someone's running in your general direction, and the crowds are parting a little bit, and you see this young individual, and he's just running, looking just like he's got somewhere to go. Zerum, you attempt to step out of his way, and you and Yeech both recognize he kind of makes the same step, almost as if he's aiming for the group or you specifically.
Oh.
And I will let you make one decision before I will do something else. So one chance to do one thing.
What exactly is happening? Who's stepping towards us? Who's
is-
looking at us?
There is an young elven man running. He's not ragged robes or anything like that, but he's at commoner's clothing, and he is running. It looks like he has somewhere to go. He's late to be somewhere inside near the gate, but he appears to be making a movement to intercept the group. You, Zerum and Yeech are the only two that recognize that he has specifically attempted to intercept.
Yeah, I tell the other ones that maybe trouble is coming towards us, and
Okay.
point them out.
You're
just-
okay, Zerum? Yep.
As I was going to say to others, we got company. He's gonna turn directly to the person and try to wave and greet him.
The person is not exactly looking at you, or maybe he's in it. You can't really tell right now, but he ends up running right into you, Zerum. And both of you topple to the ground with him on top of you, and there's this, oh, I'm so sorry,
I don't trust that in one instant.
and
Perception check.
yep. So you all, every single person can make a perception check.
Oh. This is definitely Kenku
Oh.
knows thieves. Give me a second. Where's my perception? There it is. No!
Your knowledge of thieves has failed you.
Your knowledge of thieves has failed you. Well, let me see. And who am I missing? I'm missing Aspen.
I got a 15.
Oh, you got your 15. There it is. Who am I missing? Ayul.
Oh, he crashed on us. I
Oh,
could
Arturo.
also made
I'm missing
a
Ayul.
slate of hands.
You're missing tweets.
There we go. Okay, so Tejanos and Aspen. So you guys, I mean, everyone's pretty got an idea. Okay, this is not normal. This kid, he's only like 80 years old. This kid did something intentional, but
Did you say 80 years old?
Yeah.
He's an elf.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
You see a dagger sheathing, not coming out, going in to a to its scabbard on his hip, and as he's pushing himself off, like it was one fluid movement. He had placed the dagger back in its scabbard, and he starts to push himself off the ground, rolling off of Zerum. I'm so sorry, my lords. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm in a rush. I can't. Please, if you need anything, you can find me by the gate. Goodbye.
Chase.
No. He's standing up, about ready to.
I am no lord. You need to not apologize to me. But what are you doing?
I'm sorry. I'm late for dinner with my wife. She's a gnome, you know, and she gets very irate if I'm not ready there for dinner. I can't be late again.
No. What are you doing?
I am.
He gives Zarum kind of gives a knowing look because he saw him coming in the way he did.
Right.
Can you
I'm sorry, my lord. I'm sorry. You wouldn't happen to have any coin on you, would you?
I check for my coins because I'm nice.
You
Check for my gold.
You feel your purse
Yeah.
still. Feel your purse still there.
I'm gonna give an insight check on him just to kind of really try to get a sense of his character.
Okay.
Nope, I can't read him at all.
So while you can't exactly read him, but you catch his eyes glancing down towards his hip, and in his vest there's a pocket on the inside of his vest, and you see the purse, you see the leather string of your purse hanging out of it.
That was a string of what?
Well, I assumed you had a purse string. If not, then
like everything would be in his satchel, but
everything would be in the satchel. What would be easily purloinable from your body?
To ask you. Yeah.
Yeah, I need to find out.
He run into me and into Serum.
He ran into Zerum.
he ran specifically into me.
I need to know what is easily purloinable.
It would be basically a grab of whatever random object was in there.
Okay, so in that case, basically you hear a jingle. He had managed to grab a handful of coin.
Yeah, basically he would have either gotten the purse bag or the or one of the other things. And if you got the purse bag, it's like, I don't believe I have any more because you just took it.
I'm very sorry. And he slowly reaches his hand into the pocket, and slowly, as if he's trained because he's done this when he gets caught before, raises it up and doesn't look you in the eyes. I'm sorry.
Really doesn't suit me.
Can I Eclipse? Can I do
Kindness suits much better.
And
so Zarum gives.
I hear you, Torch,
so.
or I hear you, Fleeks.
Because while they're no, I don't do it.
Serum, finish what you need to say, and then I'll get to you.
Yep. So Zarum says, thieving doesn't suit you. Kindness is far more generous. And so Zarum gives him a gold coin.
Oh, now that is nice. That is nice.
No, I would do a sleight of hand on him. I have a purpose for that. I'm not actually trying to steal from him, but I steal from him.
Wait, you're not trying to steal from him, but you are trying to steal from him? I'm very
I will do the same. Do the same.
Okay.
I have only 11.
You do the same thing that basically you pat him down. He doesn't seem to have much on him, if anything, to take.
The dagger.
You don't notice. You're trying for the dagger, and he places his hand on the dagger as he does notice you. I'm sorry, sir. I please don't take that. I apologize. I was just trying to get some coin. That's all.
How does it feel?
And he steps away. It does not feel good. I agree. Kindness is better.
Far more
yes.
generous.
And I give him a piece of gold, so don't do it. Don't.
Oh, he's two
only
gold
steal from
pieces
the
up
rich.
now. Look at that.
This guy's gonna
All
steal
right.
a lot more.
And I whisper to him. Fleeks, ich meine, Yeek whispers to him, only steal from rich.
You see kind of a glimmer in his eye, and he nods as he slowly walks back towards the third gate. All right, and with that, the rest of your walk towards the estate is uneventful, and you arrive just as the sun is getting low. Arrive outside of Heidemark Manor. Ta-da! And you should have your characters there, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I don't see
No?
my. Oh, there. Okay,
Should be
okay.
near the bottom.
Way
They're tiny.
down there.
They're tiny near the bottom.
Oops.
He'll immediately goes and splashes around in the pond.
Just a bird bath, really?
Bird bath,
Turning
yes.
his pond into a bird bath.
I'm assuming I'd have had a rest and I'm not still half dead.
You are not still half dead. You are in the time. Basically you are good to do everything.
It should be full health, basically.
Yeah,
That's all.
full health.
And I also assume that we have all our spell slots free.
Yeah, because we rested
Yep.
for 2 nights, so we've
Yep,
had a long
you've got
rest.
all of that. You've got everything you need. You are like 100% good.
So I'm assuming that did the Tabaxi ever actually relay the little conversation he had in the hallway with Mr. Heidemark to the rest of the party?
That's up to you.
Because I didn't hear him do that, and if he didn't, then Ayul still really does not like this guy and did not agree to the little, like, just go through the motions and keep out of trouble, and is legitimately in this pond right now.
I'm planning on molting everywhere.
Oh my god.
How?
Actually, Aspen, did you notify? And it's up to you. Just yes or no.
I did not. I thought
Okay,
it was a
did not.
closed matter, but I also would like to ask, how long these events are you expecting them to last? Or at least that we assume, oh, will this last an hour? Will this last 2 hours?
Sure. You're assuming an hour before dinner, an hour of dinner, an hour of relaxation after dinner, and then a 2-hour play, and then you'll be gone.
Are there people, fairly upstanding folks, sort of like walking around, convening with one another?
I was about to say the people that you see, but I'm assuming the birds are going to do this anyways. Yes, there are guards inside of the high walls that are only about 8 feet tall.
Right.
And inside, you can see in front by the doors there are guards. There are well-to-do people walking around. Surprisingly, none of them are any beast folk. They are humans. They are elves. They are dwarves. They are gnomes. They are even a few halflings around.
Oh, okay.
None of them appear, but they are walking. We're going to say maybe a good dozen or so of the party goers, and then another to 6 guards that you can see when you step to this area.
Would any of the halflings that I Aspen would like to, go up to some of the halflings if he recognizes them from the hills and speak to them in their language?
You can speak to them in their language, but none of them have left from Samor or its environs. They're very local in this area.
Okay.
And they all are, every single person you see is very well to do. So if you have not procured very good looking clothing, then
I always have good looking clothing. You've seen the
some
ref.
would have been offered. Some would have been offered to you by the temple for loan, but you were not required to take them.
I'm not taking. My blue is just pretty enough.
What was that for loan?
Purely out of spite for this guy.
Clothing. You
Well,
would have.
his arm's covered. He has these nice kind of robes. He looks more like a sorcerer at the moment than.
Yeah, you're looking good. All right.
I'm giving all my 10 hats to Tay. Here, Hatbird.
Hatbird.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, they insist you take them, so you can get out of this.
Okay.
From
Yeah.
the pond, Ayol is like, just accept the hats. He is carrying them the whole way. He's very excited to give them to you.
So at the entrance to the manor here, you suddenly see a guard and the guard is whispering something like ushering the lord. He's pointing at the pool and he bristles up and turns and with a flourish of his petticoat walks back into his manor, slamming the door shut behind him, leaving the guard a little perplexed. Yes. Okay. You are expected to go up to the door, so may I just, unless there's anything else you wish to do, like getting lost in the maze.
Help!
Wait, hold on. Why do you need help? You can fly out of there. There's no reason for...
Help!
Never mind. He's playing he's like a black heron. He's playing nighttime, daytime inside the maze. Nighttime, daytime. All right. You eventually you make your way inside the manor.
So does he have nice, like, wooden floorboards?
He does, and stone, wooden and stone.
All right, so Ayul is obviously getting those wooden floorboards sopping wet and making every opportunity he can to walk specifically on those.
Gotta remember, birds don't wear shoes. And wood scratches quite well.
It does scratch quite well, matter of fact. So you are now inside. You let yourselves in, the guards let you in, and you see a number of people, well-to-do. They're holding glasses of wine. They are
Where's
holding
Buffy?
So basically, everyone. Generally a butler of sorts, a servant, shows you into the drawing area. You notice that it is conspicuously absent of anyone else, as if this is where you are to wait, and only you. And the servant, a human servant, says, "I've been instructed to keep you lords as happy as possible. But prior to dinner, if there is anything that you require, please let me know. My name is Duran."
Do you have any fine linens?
Duran?
I need to clean my feathers.
Do we have any fine what, sir?
Linens. I need to clean my feathers. They're sopping
linen.
wet.
I'm sorry, I thought you said women's. No, I
mean,
can get some for you. Yes, I will return in just a few moments.
Before you go,
yes, sir.
how much do you get paid?
I get paid a stipend of about 12 gold pieces a month, sir.
Oh.
I'm trying to remember how I check how much money I have. Because I know I had some.
You do have some. It should be written on maybe the second.
No.
It should be in the equipment page. There is
Equipment.
the equipment. Scroll to the closer to the bottom. You should have the equipment, and on the left side should be copper, silver, gold, and etc.
And I recommend you to.
I will give you
actually put them as
4
resource.
gold pieces to take every loose feather in this room and place them around the building in various places.
His eyes brighten up, and he sticks out his hand as you drop the coins in, and he kind of understands what's happening. My pleasure, my lord. My pleasure. And he does as requested. He slowly
Shake every feather off myself, and as the night goes on, just going to pass them every now and then to another one fell off.
Very good, very good.
Oh gosh.
So he's getting those feathers. He's picking up some of the black griffin feathers that depart from the cloak.
Oh no, they're secure. They're fine. They're secure.
They're secure. Okay,
He can have some of my feathers.
He
Yeek also.
goes-
And
goes
my
right up-
fur!
And
Just
my-
have
Very
Oh,
well.
gosh.
You will have my feathers and my fur!
He kind of goes over to Artonis and kind of looks hopefully for some scales or something.
No touchy.
I just realized I don't think my character has any money at all.
Yes, he departs and does as you request, and basically, from now on, whenever you go throughout the house, you will see in corners or underneath a table,
Behind a
bits of-
painting.
behind painting, bits of fur, bits of feather. Yeah.
I mean, if I'm gonna be blamed for something, it might as well be true.
Might as well be. And you basically, as he departs, I mean, you basically have free the area.
Okay.
Eclipse, can you do me a favor?
Yes.
Leave the call for a second. Come back.
Leave and come back.
I
Aye,
have a
aye.
problem.
Sorry.
It's just that you're dropping in and out, and it tends to get worse as the thing goes on.
All right.
Wow, all those devious things you said about Eclipse of his gone. How could you, Tay?
I know,
Son
that
of
was
a-
just
Man, I
horrible.
know you didn't like Griffins,
Couldn't
but
help
damn.
myself.
That is
What
incredible.
the-
What I had heard was the worst things I have ever heard in my entire life. That is incredible. And also very fast and clear. Amazing.
That was borderline libel.
So, Eclipse,
It's okay
I would
because
like
our-
to look
Yeah.
around in the room via perception.
Sure. And it's okay because at least Artonis loves me, and I know that he promises. I know that he will never lie. Right, Artie?
Ah.
Yeah, that's right.
Am I even in a room?
Um,
All right. So this particular room, this is a waiting area. There are tables, there are seats. This is a simple waiting room, and there are more than enough things for you to pick up without other people noticing. I promise you this. So without needing to roll, you will simply say what you want to have stolen, like, oh, a glass here, a pill bottle here, so on and so forth.
Oh, whatever a pill bottle? A pill bottle is.
Oh yeah, a little bottle that someone would
Something
keep
can-
pills in.
Oh, okay. I'm not stealing anything, but I replace them and put them to other places.
Oh, you're
like,
moving,
switch
you're
them off.
rearranging. Got it.
Yeah, I'm rearranging everything.
Through the open door, and Teanos, you can see through the open door, there are servants moving about. There are other well-to-do people moving about. Some of them seem to share the same thought processes of the Lord. Some of them do not seem to care one way or another, but yeah, some of them share the same thoughts.
I'm gonna go for an official Teanos branded Wanda.
Wonder. Very
So
well.
I'm just gonna also kind of get an idea of the type of guests, the type of people that are here, kind of cruising and
you-
trying to see who is who in this place. and get to know
Zerum,
them,
you have a much easier time of doing said thing. People, the servants and the other guests are more than welcome, are more than happy to talk to you specifically. And you just find out that what is occurring is something that happens every month. The Lord, he entertains the Queen in the morning, which so she was here this morning as well for breakfast. He entertains the Queen in the morning. He promises a troupe of players will perform a play that he has graciously allowed them through his own, oh God, what's the word? The P word.
Prerogative?
Not prerogative, but he gives a lot of money to people.
Charity.
Prosperous?
I think I know the word you're thinking of. Philanthropy?
Philanthropy! There we go. Philanthropy. Through his great philanthropy to the arts, because he is so high class and high bred and so much better than any of those beast races who are generally not our odd. He does this monthly. He performs he produces a new play. He has people eat in the various rooms, and then they come into his personal theater, as you see right here.
So I was going to ask, what particular themes do you like? What kind of plays does he particularly?
He particularly enjoys action and blood and tales of danger, none of those hoity-toity. So this is his one step away from the high class. He loves the bloody plays, the danger.
I bet every
plays.
time a beast race dies in a play, he claps.
I'm seeing Final Fantasy VI opera.
Yeah, right.
Coming up.
I'd like to do something as well whenever you get the chance.
Okay. And I see that, Teanos, as you're moving about these rooms, you're just getting kind of wide berth by some of the elves and the humans and the half-elves that are around. None of them really seem to pay you more attention than needed or a polite hello, but it's more surprise that you're walking around than anything. And even even a few of them, she sits down and then she sits back up with an and picks up a feather that was on a couch and she stares at you and glares at you.
It's not me. I've only just got here. Maybe the Lord's hiding a secret.
Oh boy, maybe. All right,
just gonna start spreading gossip.
Aspen, and we are almost getting to dinner right now. Aspen.
I was going to say, I was gonna have Aspen interviewing the guests, getting information, walking around, similar to what they were doing, but more personal with getting to know like who he's inviting to these. However, Aspen would like to cast Disguise Self on himself before he exits the room, and look like Gilderoy Lockhart, this very upstanding, very charming, purple and green, velvety, very, very, make it look expensive as all hell, and just very charming human walking around, sort of bullshitting in his way, and, something a little easier to talk to people with and get to know what's going on here. And I will...
I am going to say that people that interact with you, you're not a very attractive-looking individual, because
he's a cat.
Well, no. One, sorry to say, you're a cat. The disguise self changes certain attributes, so it's not going to completely change you into a human or an elf, but we're just going to say, though, for purposes of this, you're going to look extremely like a very feline-looking human.
I mean, if that's the case, I wouldn't. I thought it was full.
Not full. So basically, you can make yourself fatter. You can make yourself thinner. You can give yourself longer fur, shorter fur. You can change the design on your fur. You can give yourself a blunt.
I thought it was actually you could change what your race looked like.
I think that's through a higher level. That's a higher level spell. Let me see. Let me double check that.
Because it's not a physical, if my tail would disappear,
illusion,
but it's still there, so if someone
the
gets
same,
hit
it's not
by
like
it,
that's
they're
an
like,
actual
wait a minute.
situation, But it is an illusion that...
You know what? Screw it. Let's go for it. Let's say that you can make yourself look like that. I think Disguise Self is a little bit less powerful than that, but let's go ahead and do it, because I like the way it works.
It does say you can't change your body type, so you must adopt a form that has the same basic arrangement of limbs. So I can't have 70 limbs or
and you can't... And so, say if you're a halfling, you can't make yourself something look like a giant orc.
Right.
Yeah, it only allows you
Or
1
you could be
foot
a super,
taller or
super
shorter.
short orc. That's the kind of thing. But
all right, you got it then. You got it.
All right, and I'll expend that spell slot.
Platigrade, or are you?
What?
Plantigrade.
Oh. Oh shit! That I didn't see. I'm just gonna look like a broken legs. Perhaps I'm wearing very well. I don't know if that would be.
Honestly,
I'll leave that up to you.
I don't think legs would be an issue, honestly, for illusion.
That's up to you, DM.
but
Yeah, not particularly an issue, and I would like to move it forward a bit.
Okay.
So, the knowledge that. So, what are you trying to gather here?
The types of people he's inviting and what they do.
Yeah, these are all regal individuals from around Samora, none from the environs, so none from outside Samora. Everyone is inside.
Okay.
And they all are either rather pompous and proud, old money sorts of people, or just very entitled. They think that they're connoisseurs of culture and art, and they again do this every month.
Right.
Yeah.
Any rumors, gossip, or what their opinion of the bestial guests are?
They think that you might be here as part of the troop. Some of them think that you might be here as servants. Some of them have heard, no, 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 they are definitely guests of the queen. We know that she is doing her best, and I think it's wonderful that she's reaching out to the lesser folk. Things like that.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially that charming Aspen man who's from the north. An excellent musician, I have heard. I have heard he has put on incredible musical compositions. Have you not?
Well, I have not. Will he be performing at the play tonight?
I do not know, but I certainly hope he does. That would be absolutely entertaining to see. Just bullshit. I hope to do my Gilderoy Lockhart impression.
Right. Oh
Yeah,
my god.
just bullshitting my way through everyone's like, have you heard of this amazing musical phenomenon sweeping through the north? Just spread that rumor around. Me and Tay are gonna spread rumors and shit, or it's gonna be great.
Okay. Artonis, anything specific for you?
Well, not really. I mean, Antonis is kind of uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable with this group of people, the inside, right?
Well, with these people who are obviously not really interested in having us around.
Yeah, I can totally understand. I very much understand. Okay, and anyone else? Ayul, you're cleaning yourself off from your bird bath earlier.
I've decided that Ayul is going to be cleaning himself off on what looks to be these nice fancy pillows right here. And he's going to make an effort to be absolutely as obnoxious as he possibly can. So when he's done with that, he's going to wander over the door Tay went through and just announce loudly to anyone with an earshot, "Where can I get myself a drink?"
And you,
and
you
the
can-
servant appears, and I can help you with that, my lord. And
Excellent, good. Get me the strongest drink you can possibly find.
yes, sir.
No drink for little King. For little
Teanos, at this time, where you are right now, it is now dinner time. And you all have been wandering around, causing a little bit of mischief or drinking, or simply being uncomfortable and staying in your room. And Zaram, you have yourself been walking, gathering information. You are the only one that basically has the freedom to move around without scorn. But you notice a lot of people were talking, and people are moving in and out. No one really seems to try and pay you much attention. But Teanos, you at the top of this stairwell, you hear a knocking on a distant door. And you think you hear someone say, my lord Heidemark, it's time. Please open the door, sir."
I'm immediately following the noise.
My lord, and you arrive, and I don't have the second story, but the second story is basically a row and row of bedrooms and overlooks to the outside. And up here, there is an overlook. There is a second story to overlook down at the performance area down here. But at the top of the stairs, Theanos, you can see the butler who greeted you and escorted you into your waiting area, which no one else has appeared in, just you. And he's knocking at a very large double door. My lord, please, Lord Highmark, it's time. The guests are waiting for you. They're beginning to come into the dining area. You need to greet them. And at this time, some other people are standing around. They're standing around the various areas. Someone pokes his head out of this area here. And Theanos, you see the man open the doors wide, and he lets out a scream. My lord, no! Quick, guards! Guards! Lord Highmark has been murdered!
Oh boy.
I had
mystery.
I had a feeling with, like, you hear knocking at the door. I'm like, oh shit, this is gonna be Dungeons and Dragons Clue, isn't it?
Hey,
It's Clue.
you know that your feathers are laying around.
Yeah,
Evidence everywhere.
Like, everywhere.
Hey, the fur was a joke, but the feathers were definitely real.
Unless someone tells me otherwise. Unless someone tells me otherwise, and please, if you wish, do so. The group of you, along with some others, run to the top of the stairs and look through the wide double doors, which can hold 2, maybe 3 people. You all look, and inside, over his bed, is the body of Lord Highmark. And guards are now standing next, and make way, my lord Highmark.
I just want to say that Zom does not rush with everyone else because, like, he kind of has a instinctually
Okay.
is like, there's something wrong up there, and everyone's rushing, so he's trying to keep an eye out for what else is going on.
Who am
Like,
I
told
missing?
you no one
Some
liked
other
musical.
I'm gonna say, Ayul also does not run up there. At this point, he is just focusing on trying to get drunk because he's being he's trying to be as obnoxious as he possibly can.
Right,
so
so
he is
you're-
not paying attention.
Right, you're at the dinner table trying to, and Zerum, you might have heard, but you're at the bottom of the stairwell. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Bird, be quiet, please. I don't know if you can hear her, but
Yes, I can.
she's
It's
like, I know who
Ayul
did.
screaming
She's
in
like,
the
I know who did it. I know who
Yeah.
did it. All right. On the bed, laying over the bed, on his back, and covered in scorch marks.
Oh boy.
Covered in
Oh, boy.
scorch marks to his chest. His clothing is charred. His face and hands are charred. Lies Lord Highmark. And next to him, you can plainly see next to him a black griffin feather that seems to resemble those from Theanos' cloak. In his hand is a tuft of fur that bears striking resemblance to Aspen's fur. And near his feet is a smattering of feathers that appear to be Aarakocra feathers, matching Ayul's description. And intermingled with those is a tuft and Zerum. Your hair is silver, correct?
No,
What color is your hair?
the hair is more for his human form. It's
Yep.
Let's see. I'm thinking what I had originally. In fact, it's a deep kind of dark ruddy brown. Like a reddish
Okay.
brown.
And intermingled with the rest of the with the feathers in the at the foot of the bed near his dangling feet. Amidst those feathers is also what appears to be a recently cut tuft of dark brown human hair.
Ooh. So
And a group of guards, they stand in and they're like, "What is this? What is this?" The guards turn towards the four of you and lower their spears and take out their swords. "What have you done to Lord Hydemark?"
Really quickly, they don't know I'm Aspen right now, right? I'm disguised.
They don't know you are. They don't know you're Aspen, so I guess they'd be pointing at the three.
My word, there's been a murder here. How terribly tragic. I say, bullshitting my way through this.
This seems awfully convenient.
and you just like, oh, I like this man.
Zam
looks
doesn't
around.
know what's going upstairs, but he's kind of looking around for any kind of suspicious activity.
So you're looking around and you see others. Zerum. And guards are rushing past. Like almost all of the guards are running past. And I want Zerum. I want you and Ayul. Both of
Hello.
you to make a perception check.
You've got it, my friend.
You must have gotten really drunk off all the
Damn,
drinks you
dude.
found.
No, that was Zerum.
Oh.
Perception.
no.
Click.
Yeah.
Oh!
Sweet.
Wow! I take back
will-
my previous statement, by the way.
Ayul.
Tweets
There-
Ayul got freaking relaxed and in
I
the
know.
zone.
So Ayul, you see two guards come through this door, and they're moving. They bust through this area, and they look like they're going towards the stairs where there's the hubbub of commotion, and you can hear now, "Lord Hydemark has been murdered. What have you done?" and all of that. And tweets alone. You recognize one of the guards. She looks right at you, as a matter of fact.
Oh boy.
You recognize her as Ingaret.
The one you. Oh. The sister of Adamar, right?
The sister
Yep.
of Adamar.
Vinaigrette.
Oh,
And this is highly odd, seeing as how she was a city guard, not one of Lord Hydemark's personal guard, but she is wearing his guard attire.
Well, since I noticed her as she's walking through and she made eye
She's
contact
running
with
through.
me.
She's trying
Okay.
to respond to the call.
So would I not have any time to react and like
Not
make
really.
a scene or anything? All right.
Basically, it's going to take time for you to go, "Wait a minute, is that the what the? Yeah, it is. I think it is. I mean, I'm
All
drunk,
right,
but
yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah,
it is." Yeah. So she is out the door, and now you can react. Sure.
Okay. Zerum is nowhere near me, is he?
No. Zerum,
Alright.
actually, I think Zerum, you're at the top of the stairs, I believe.
No.
No, you're on the bottom floor as well.
Yeah,
Where
you
is your
technically
damn?
put me here, but I was thinking that he would wander down this hallway and
wander.
move out to the garden.
Okay, so he's in the garden. No, he's not near you. And Zerum, you didn't see that.
No, I don't.
All right. I'm gonna have Ayul then drunkenly like stumble away from the table and wander around trying to find Zerum because he knows the guards have gone upstairs. He heard a call from above him. He doesn't want to go that way because he's like, okay, something bad is happening. I know I didn't see the whole group go up there, so let's find the one who stayed down here, and I'll let him know what I've seen.
Sure, and that
Yeah.
will take time.
Can I sneak
And
away?
Zone would be pacing back and kind of looking around
Yep.
too for anything else of suspicious. So he'd probably meet Ayul over here.
Sure, and I need you two to stand by because I'm going to go up for my three up top. Fleeks, what did you say you would like to do?
I think I'm going to use the restroom real quick.
Can I try to stealth away?
No, there are far too many people around right now.
Can I try to get the feathers on the floor with sleight of hand?
No, because the guards
Okay.
had come into the room. They surrounded the bed, and then they turned towards you, the beast creatures, and halt! What have you done to our lord? And
Nothing.
Tabax and Aspen, you are pretty much the only one. Like you're in the crowd, and everyone else is gasping. You're the only one of the four that they would not immediately try to accost.
Um,
I'd like to I go forward and past everyone else, since out of my way. I'm a doctor. I need to see this man.
Okay.
And I try to I don't know if it'd be perform because I'm bullshitting, or if it's persuasion to get them.
There is, as you do that, another person comes through, and this person looks to be a very well-dressed cleric, wearing clerical robes, and this is a half-elf, and she says to you, "Oh, good, a doctor. I am also I am a priestess of the temple. Together we can help him."
Yes.
And
oh no.
I have a plan for this. I had a plan for if this went wrong, so give me a second.
She looks
This is
down.
great.
She looks down to the body, and the guards are holding the other three of you. You are going to pay, and they're basically no one move until these two finish looking at the Lord. And yes,
I have a theory as a player, and could I make a perception or investigation?
Investigation takes time. Investigation is a timely maneuver, so this would be perception.
Okay. And can I try to figure out as a player, no, not my character, but as a player, I assume this may be a trap. So can I can I make a perception?
So you're
check on
trying to
that?
see if he's really dead.
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. Please do. Yeah, go ahead and do that from where you are. You're looking around and you're thinking, okay, wait a minute, are we being set up?
Oh.
Damn it.
Oh, Fleeks, you think you actually killed this man? You're like, I
It
don't
was
remember
me!
doing it, but it was me. Bird got drunk. Bird killed man. That's clearly what happened.
I'm not drunk.
No.
Other bird got drunk.
Alcohol.
Other bird got drunk.
He's panicking. He's like, we did it, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Yeah, the bird, the kenku is flapping his, oh, no, non-existent wings. Sorry. Right now, not only do you, you're actually kind of terrified, you're just more terrified than anything. You know you're being set up. It clearly wasn't you, but you don't know how or why or through whom. And I'm going to get to... Yes.
Any chance I could shout one of the guards down, sort of an intimidation-based thing? Something along the lines of, just wait till the queen gets here, we've got business with her.
Try.
No.
I can make
Nope.
All right, let me do the same thing. I might be better at it.
And I make also a persuasion thing on saying, hey, this is obviously a trap. And it is obviously a setup.
Oh,
If I can.
Artonis. So the bird starts squawking, and the guard literally says, "Stop your squawking, bird!" And you start barking out that we are with the queen. This is clearly someone trying to set us up. How stupid can you be, you stupid men? And they kind of back down, and you think you can have some purchase later on. You think you've made a little bit of a dent into your ability to negotiate something. But Teanos, or not Teanos, my apologies, Aspen, it is, I need you to make a medicine check on this guy.
My only backup plan is I do know cure wounds, so technically I'm not wrong if being a doctor, but let me see here. Medicine.
Of which I doubt you're trained. All right. It's relatively obvious to you this man is genuinely dead. This is not an act. This man is genuinely dead, and those are real fire marks scorching his face, his cheeks, his throat, his clothing, his hands. This man died right here. He was attacked right here.
Would
Do
I?
any of us even use fire or pyromancy?
Yeah, that's what I was
or-
thinking.
You can tell that by a scorch mark on the wall opposite the bed. So it looks like he was attacked by the eastern wall, and he stumbled onto the bed and died this manner.
Is this how what I notice, or is that something everyone notices?
Pretty much everyone can notice where the scorch marks are. You're the only one right now that knows he is dead. And everyone else is about to find out because the priestess, she looks to you. Oh, it looks like we're too late, Doctor. It looks like we're far too late.
Yes, indeed it does. I
know what we can do. Hold on, everyone, keep all of these beasts here. And
I'm gonna slap you.
I'm standing right there, and I'm just like, oh, Jesus.
And she starts to make an incantation. All right. And this incantation, you all recognize as some sort of necromantic thing. She takes a pinch of incense out of a pocket, and drops it over the head of the Lord, and he suddenly gasps, just this gasping, horrible sound.
Quickly, what happened to?
He will give us the answers of who killed him. You have noticed that she is casting Speak with the Dead. And her first question, Lord Highmark, pardon me. Lord Highmark, who killed you? Do you know him? No.
Or her.
The answer that his body gasps out is no. To the answer, do you know him? What did he look like? Red scales.
Uh-oh.
Fire. When did this happen? I don't know. He does not know how long he's been dead. This is not something he would know. Just so you are aware, this is something he would not know.
With that being brought up,
and that gasp fails, and his body collapses again. Yes.
With that knowledge, how long have the scorch marks been burning for?
The scorch marks.
As some indicator.
You'd have to. So looking at his body, what did you roll for medicine?
15.
15. You could actually tell within an hour, maybe 30 minutes to an hour, within an hour.
Right. All right.
And the priestess, she stands up and she looks accusingly at Artonis. It is clear that lizard killed our lord.
Now let's not make any assumptions. It could have been anyone.
Lizard was the bird all time.
Really? Was he with the whole time? What of the rest of your group? You were, and she starts to speak up. All of you were allowed access into the Lord's house. There's bits of your bodies lying everywhere around the house. And
I'm proud of that. I'm proud.
Could I possibly interject with persuasion or a method of calming them down?
In just a moment. And
of course.
And any of you were sequestered away from the rest of us at the bottom of the stairs. Any one of you could have snuck up to the Lord's room and murdered him. Especially you, sorcerer. And she pokes her finger like right in your snout, Artie.
Bite it off.
Can I make a persuasion thing to say to her?
First of all,
And
I want to
hold on one second. I'm gonna have to take bits and pieces. Is there something that you can? And I'm going to get to all three of you that wanted to do something. First off, Aspen, is there something you can react to what she just did there? Or do you want to try and persuade her down?
Yes, kind of calm her down.
Hold up on the persuasion. Fleeks, did you want to try and persuade her down?
Yes,
Hold
I
up
have
on
an
that.
idea what to say.
Did someone else want to do anything other than speaking or try to speak intelligence and calming words to these people? That's a no. Okay.
I thought Artona said he wanted to intimidate.
Yeah, Artie, do you want to do something like that?
I decided against it.
Decided against intimidating her. Okay, so I will let Fleeks and so basically the three of you together. I am going to do with the three of you basically able to talk together. I am going to have you make a persuasion roll. One of you will roll it with an advantage from the others. And from the successful intimidation by Artie earlier.
So what's...
Who has the advantage?
Let's have Aspen roll with advantage. And this is persuasion.
Okay. Oh.
Oh my
Nice.
God.
How's that be an advantage?
Ha!
God damn.
Ha! I'm... My name is John Smith, and I'm a doctor, and I need you to look at me very, very passionately and romantically. We're going to solve this, but we cannot point fingers at anybody
I'm
here.
just watching Eclipse's story burn in front of his eyes.
I think at this point you might as well have said, "I'm the doctor."
Yeah.
I am the doctor. That's right.
I did
Well,
say
the
John
part-
Smith, by the way.
You did. And the fun part is you didn't even roll advantage. You just rolled once. So, all right, Ayul and Zerum, I'm going to get to you two. But for this purposes right now, you...
Could I say what I'd like to do before...
Say what you would like to do, but this is a group effort. All three of you.
So
all
should we
three of
roll
you.
now, or?
No need to roll. He was doing one roll for everyone, basically. He was doing the one for everyone. So, what kind of thing are you trying to do? Or what kind of information are you trying to pass?
I would say like, who first?
We'll do him. We'll do him first, and then you, Fleeks.
I was going to kind of now hold on and sort of begin with the we don't know who could have done it for certain. It could be a setup. I mean, I can do the BS like roleplay if you want, but for speeding up sort of
we're moving quickly.
Yeah. So
okay.
Essentially, it could be anyone. Now we need to stay calm. Accusations are going to, a murder has happened. It could have easily been set up, and there is. And I also mention it, even though they don't realize I'm Aspen. Even I know that they've been together for the night, and they haven't gone into this area at all. I'm sure there's more than enough people that recognize the beasts to know where they've been the entire night. We should take this one step at a time. I'm the doctor, and I say that.
I'm the doctor.
Okay.
All right, Fleeks, your contribution.
Fleeks, just says it talks to the woman and the knights or whatever they are at the same time, and says, "That waking woman and strong knight seems smart. Must see the setup too. Want to bring dirt on flock. I can, yeah."
Okay, I like it.
He's not even red. He's vermilion.
What? Who are you looking at? Oh, red vermilion. Got it.
So I practically called them smart.
Yeah,
so
you
like...
did. And through that and Artonis, your earlier intimidating nature of You've got to slow your roll. You have got to slow this down. The group appears calmer. They appear calmer. The woman, the cleric, she's staying by the king, by the Lord's side with Dr. Smith over here, and she's just kind of casting accusatory glances at the three of you. Before we move on with you, however, you two, Zaram and Ayul,
Hello.
you have so Zaram, as you were trying to investigate by the garden area, Ayul has found you, and you can hear snippets of the yelling up there of it was them, they killed, and you did not hear what the king, you did not hear what the Lord said of red scales or anything, but you can hear it was him, the lizard, sorcerer. You can hear those words, yes.
I'm just hearing little snippets here and there. Yep. Okay.
Yep.
Ayul, have you found anything strange?
Yes, actually. While I was in the kitchen, it doesn't matter what I was doing. Two guards ran through. I recognized one of them as what was her name? It was Ingrid from back in the city. Remember, we found her brother, our tabaxi friend. He carried them out for her. She was one of them. I'm absolutely sure of it.
The one the person that we tried to save.
Yes, that one's sister.
The sister of the brother we tried to save.
Yes.
I didn't know. He's just a little dumbfounded. He's just, and it's like,
Oh yeah,
what are you
I'm
doing here?
I don't know. We should probably figure that out though, because I don't think it's a coincidence.
Does she blame us for their death?
You're asking the wrong person, friend, but it sounds like our friends are in trouble. You hear all the shouting upstairs?
I definitely hear shouting. I don't know who's in trouble, but considering that they hate anything non-human.
I heard something about a lizard. I mean, could be important.
Yes, they hate. They seem to hate any non-human, so I wouldn't be surprised they blame it on them. Let's see. Is there anything else? Anything else you have found? Anything left behind? Any marks or people even? Does from where he is, can Zom see like the outskirts of the manor area and like people leaving or something like that?
Not really anyone is leaving. There are two, you can look out the door and you can see that two guards have closed the gates, the estate gates, and not letting anyone through.
Okay.
But that is out in the estate grounds.
Yep.
I mean, I found quite a nice wine if you want to take a look at it after this is all done.
Zom just kind of slowly looks at Ayul with just kind of a very serious and focused look, and then it says, "Maybe after." And then it's like, we should find them and keep an eye on this Ingrid.
I agree. That sounds like a good idea. Lead the way, my dragon friend.
So Zom tries to look around, keep an eye out for other guards that might be suspicious and infiltrated.
Right. Ooh, I like the way you think. I want you both, if both of you are making your way carefully, I want you both to make either insight or perception, whichever is better. Insight or perception, whichever is better.
Do you think a drunk bird could be too insightful right now?
Probably not, nor perceptive. But can you really get that fast drunk in within an hour?
Tiny bird.
Tiny bird.
I don't even think
And he's only like 5 feet, so I don't know.
I don't even know if it's been an
I'll leave it
hour
up
yet.
to you. Yeah, I'll leave it. I'll leave it up to you.
Sure. I'll try insight since I haven't rolled anything else.
All right.
I've got my
What do we?
John Smith glasses right now on stream.
Yeah. For you two, you're not really noticing anything out of the ordinary about any more of the guards, or the people as you're passing by.
Sarum, Sarum rolled on persuasion.
Oh, Zarum, you roll persuasion. I need
the wrong thing.
perception. Perception.
Damn it! I always click the wrong thing.
Everyone
next
does.
to each other.
Everyone does that. Perception. Same thing. There's nothing exactly untoward or odd about anyone else. They're either moving too fast or they're talking. They look like they're supposed to be where they're supposed to be. All right. But as you near the top of the stairs, let me take that out. As you near the top of the stairs, you can hear, and oops, let me stop that. There we go. You can hear the next thing that I'm about to say. So you two will basically be either on the second flight of stairs right here, ready to go up, but you will hear what I'm about to say. For you other four that are sitting up here, as the group kind of calms down and dies down, well, you're right, we shouldn't jump to conclusions. It does look kind of obviously like a setup. But what do we do? I mean, we have to bring this to the watch and so on and so forth. You hear a female voice speak out, a human voice, as one of the guard members that you can't quite see tries to rally everyone back up. What are you talking about? It's clear that they've had something to do with it. Lock them up and let the actual investigators take care of this. But they need to be locked up now. And everyone else seems to be kind of mumbling, oh, yeah, the guard's got a point. Guard's got a point.
You will not.
Then Zarum goes. You should be careful who you trust. The guards have been infiltrated.
So you basically stand at the top of the stairwell, and we're just going to I'm going to make it look like this. You three are standing about right here. You two stand at the top of the stairwell. Aspen, you are in the bedroom.
I have something to say after Zarum.
Yeah, Zarum.
Sarum, say it.
No. Somebody said they had something to say after me.
Oh, after Zarum. Please do.
Like right now?
Yeah. Good.
Okay. Oh yeah. So first of all, does Ayul recognize that voice as Ingaret's?
That's going to be more difficult because she was more. Oh, actually, you would know. You specifically would know. Yes.
Yeah, Ayul specifically spoke to her.
And
Ayul specifically spoke. Yes, you do.
All right.
There's another thing. The Kenku actually imitated her voice beforehand, so it's safe.
The Kenku imitated. So yeah, you
And
would be
I
able to
was-
recognize it as well.
I was also adjacent in the area.
Yep. So you three can recognize the voice, if not the face. Yes.
All right. So then, while at the top of the stairs with Zarum, Ayul's gonna call it. Wait a minute. Your voice sounds familiar to me. You were a city guard. Why are you here in the manor as one of his personal guards now?
She looks quick. So everyone can now see there's a step back, and she looks around, and you can see this is Ingaret. And she's looking at some of the guards. People are looking at her sideways. I was simply hired on as extra protection for this particular event. It happens every month. The Crown always sends some of their guards. I simply volunteered this month. And she's sneering at you while she stares with this rather, to everyone else here, rather obvious response. The city guard. Inside check.
Is she basically trying to determine if she's outright lying? Nope, I can't tell a thing.
She is not. You know?
No bird is seeing. You're the one who this Adama died, and I say Adama in her own voice because.
Oh, you son of a bitch! Just really tug at those heartstrings, huh? She quivered. So Zarum and no one else. You do not get the sense she's not lying about that. and by the reactions of the other guards, that confused look, and they were just confused someone brought it up. They weren't confused that she was here. But um, this, you get the feeling everyone, that makes what she said makes sense. The city guard does supplement for this particular event because it brings in so many royal or noble people. So it is no doubt that she was here and she volunteered. Um, what that said, when you say that, you Fleet Yeek, you
Yeah.
kind of like really hit something with her. How dare you, vermin? She says. First you mock my dead brother, and then you kill our lord just because he hates your kind? Why are we even still listening to these beasts? She says to everyone that's listening, and they're beginning to get on her side again.
I have an idea on what I could do.
Have an idea?
The more ideas I get, the more BS I have to dive into, and hopefully I don't screw this up. But I would like to walk up as John Smith apparently, and I'd like to approach and now hold on. Yeah, just now hold on here. We are on an investigation right now. And everything you've said is only allegations. If what they say is true, you are still a suspect, no matter how much in favor it may be on their end. And as I'm doing this, I like to cast Charm Person on this person.
Oh boy.
Hopefully,
it takes an action to perform, correct? It's
Not
not an
what's more important is
instantaneous.
the verbal and semantic components.
yeah. And I was gonna
knows
say,
you do sleight of hand. It's people will recognize that you're casting a spell.
Yeah,
well, and that was
basically,
on
yeah,
that I
people
was
are
gonna
going
say to cast it before I began to talk, while everyone was riled up and noisy. But I probably should have said that before mentioning this.
should have
so-
said that before because
Yes.
I will not allow you. If you do want to try, then you will, without a roll, be caught.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, it'd probably at this point have to be a sleight of hand if you want to attempt.
Well, I might try to simply because she doesn't know who I am. I might actually try to persuade her again.
In this case,
because it's either I persuade her, it feels natural, and she does calm, or maybe Aspen might gain an insight on if she is in on something bigger because she doesn't suspect me at the moment. She suspects them. I don't know. That's sort of where I was aiming these actions at. But
right,
I still would like to start saying this sort of stuff.
Okay, so we'll do this as one more because this is basically you're gonna fight check. You're fighting your persuasion with her persuasion.
Okay.
And
to win over the.
Yes. To win her over, basically to win the group over, you two are gonna have basically a roll.
Could I also, with just the crowd, do performance to see if the crowd can, or will this? Okay.
Not together on this.
Okay.
Not together on it. So first off, let me roll. $15.
Okay. And that's going to be persuasion?
Yes.
All right.
Atonus, we may have to make more drastic measures. I whisper to Atonus.
Okay.
Is it possible to use my insight or my inspiration on this?
Yeah, if you want to basically roll a second time and take the better of the two.
All right. How do I discard the?
Just drag it on. Just drag it onto the screen, and I will destroy it.
All right.
All right. So we're taking this one. All right. I'm going to delete it. Goodbye.
And then I would just roll again, or
roll again.
All right. Damn. So it's still the 13 then.
Yes, it is. And now it seems like the group is not. It seems like the group itself is not really. They think that she is, while not maybe telling the truth, she is making much more sense than you are right now.
Hmm.
And they start to sway, and they're like, yes, let's go get the rest of the city guard and get them in here now. Make sure
Okay.
they don't move. Make sure they don't move at all. And
Block the doors.
two of the guard departs, and they depart with information claiming basically they're going to pass information that people suspect you all did it.
Before anyone goes anywhere,
I will
shut up.
fly
This
after
is
them.
Hold on. Teanos was speaking up first. I'm going to give Tay the next step.
You seem to have something that's not quite fitting of your uniform, Indirect.
She looks at you. What do you have to say about any of this? What does my uniform have to do with any of this?
Well, either
You keep your beak shut.
no.
This is not the nice English.
Was that Zerum? Was Zerum?
No, that was Tay.
No.
Oh, okay. I'm like, oh shit. Zerum, are you going full dragon? Because that might not be the best time, man.
No, Zime is playing it very calm at the moment.
Am I able to see what this thing is?
Nope. It's just surprising to see. None of the other guards seem to have anything like that.
Have we had something to drink, perhaps, Incorrect? Recently.
She scoffs like, "I'm not drinking on duty. What is wrong with you? Let's get
Then-
these beasts
then
out
tell
of here
me
now,
what
everyone."
What this stuff is that's pouring out of the flask that you're
It is
carrying
empty.
around?
It is empty.
Oh,
No, but you see,
Okay.
you see a glass. You see the
I
glass
misread
of the flask. Yep. Nope.
The suspicious flask you seem to be holding.
This is. It was a healing potion, and I was feeling fatigued after having sleepless nights. Sleepless nights after my brother's death. I needed something to.
I believe we've got a cleric behind us.
Yes.
Could a cleric
she
tell
speaks it.
what might have been in such a flask?
I'm no magician. I don't know those things. I barely know anything about alchemy. If only there was someone who knew something about alchemy around.
Aspen would like to
Oh,
get
wait,
the
that's
attention
me.
of the cleric and bring her forward if possible.
She's standing right there.
Oh,
She's
okay.
in view. So she's there. She's in view, and right now they're basically the guards have pushed all of the the civilians that are not interacting are down the stairwell. Right now, it is essentially the cleric inside of the room, Aspen, the three of and basically all of you, including Ingaret and 6 other guards, are basically up there, and this is whom we're having a conversation with right now.
I propose we test what was in the flask using some handsome, awesome, sexy birds alchemy skills.
This is preposterous, she says.
Then, if it were
It's
so
a health
far-fetched, you
potion.
would have no quarrels.
Can I do sleight of hand now to try to get it?
Yes, you may, Fleeks, do sleight of hand.
Just got an image of going
Haha.
reach, fetch.
Basically, that's what happened. Essentially, that's what happened. You provided a great distraction, and while people's attention were to Fleeks, you just kind of zip over and zip out, and you're now holding an empty small. We're talking, I mean, no more than like maybe 3 3 inches tall glass vial, glass flask.
I give it
And
to
it is
Tiana,
empty.
of course.
Okay, Tay, without
Anos.
even Tay Anos. Without even touching, without even like tasting this, this is not a health. This was not a health potion.
This does not seem healthy. I guess how I'm check what is.
To how am check what is not alchemy supplies. That's not going to this time. And Artonis, I just want to make sure you got my message.
Tonus?
He's dead.
Artonis. I hope he's
Artonis is now dead. What on earth is happening?
Everyone is dropping.
See, it definitely wasn't him. He's
I'm not
dead.
dead. I'm not dead.
Thank God.
Sorry.
I'm no problem. I'm doing my best to get everyone involved too. Did you get the message that I sent you?
Yes, I got it. Sorry, I had forgotten that I had muted my microphone.
No, it's okay. I completely understand. You've got little ones running around. You've got an awesome griffin to take care of. It happens.
I probably shouldn't be wearing fake glasses for like an hour. This is not healthy for my eyes.
Your John Smith glasses. All right, Tay. Yep, I'm going to deal with Tay real quick, and then if you want to do something, we will make that happen. Tay,
Okay.
you know what? Go ahead and do your insight. All right.
It is a flask.
It is a flask. Tay, you don't know. You're not able to identify what was in this. You put it to your beak and you take a lick of it. You're not too sure what it is. However, everyone else, when you take that lick of the whatever remaining concoction is there, they see your feathers on your face for a split second become red dragon scales.
Oh!
And then they quickly flow back to your beautiful birdie plumage.
Well, that definitely wasn't Slickstream, TM.
You don't see what happened. You don't even know what happened.
Yeah,
Everyone else just
but
tastes.
I've noticed that I've not
It is not
gone to the toilet.
Aha! It seems that the contents of that vial allow someone to be disguised as the person described by the victim. I say in a
Polymorph.
yeah.
He's screaming.
He's like, give me more, give me more, give me more.
Yeah.
Ingrid.
Can I keep the flask? And whatever's left in it.
Whatever, that means nothing. I don't know what you're talking about.
Cool.
Come on, guards. I don't
What
think
do you
should-
mean you do not know what they're talking about? You had the flask in your hand.
She looks.
You
to-
claimed it as a health potion.
She looks to the. She looks to the cleric, and she suddenly makes the calculated decision. And she says, "I don't think we should wait for the proper guards to come and deal with this. I think these vermin need to be put down now. These murderers." And she nods.
Who has murdered is you.
And when you say that, what?
I want to do something.
Okay, go for it.
Can I use my Arcana on her?
Oh yeah,
All right.
please do. Oh,
Nice.
Artie, you have identified more than you think. Artie, she is everyone else, you don't know this. She is wearing a cloak of elven kind, and there is a ring of firebolt on her finger, on her gloved finger.
Okay.
Clearly, two things that are a little bit suspicious for a guard to have, especially one that
Yes.
doesn't make that much money, and so on and so forth.
Would it be useful if I tried to freeze her?
We are going to do an initiative right now because as you make this sudden realization, all 6 of the other guards, they ready themselves to attack you as they follow command of you need to be taken down now.
Oh boy.
The cleric, however, she does not seem to be. She seems horrified at what is happening. She doesn't like you guys, but she doesn't think you should be murdered like this. So, initiative for everyone.
When
So
should
she's
we?
not in on this.
You think she's not in, and make sure that your icon is selected when you do your initiative, and that way it'll put everyone up. Wow, Zerum, look at you go.
I was ready. Like,
Yeah, I was gonna say, when do we want to call this? By the way.
Say again. Oh, can we? Do you want to call it at 6 or no?
I'm gonna keep on going forever.
'Cause
Well,
it's
I don't-
3:21 right now, and there's a.
Okay.
I don't want to be the party pooper, but there's some stuff I have to run out and get.
That's fine. Just
No problem.
set the time that we need to stop, and we'll prepare to stop at that point.
Well, I mean, we can basically cut. We can use this as the cutaway, or we can try a few rounds. I'm not. I think I can make this last 30 minutes plus, but we do have 6 players, and sometimes these things do go longer. So.
I.
Quick of our turns, we can
Yep.
be very fast.
Let me see what. Yeah, you.
I think we should. I don't want to be that guy, but I think it
No.
would be the best time to cut
I
now,
gotcha.
as
So
combat
This is
will take
the
longer.
start of the fight, and being
Yeah,
able to
so
start
the
here next
start of
time.
the fight is a good place to start, and I'll be able to get an actual battle plan for this area, and I can get the guards down.
Alright,
And we have our
that
initiatives
works.
up now. We can write
Yep,
them.
we have our
save 'em.
initiatives. Oh my God, great initiatives, and we'll keep that. I mean, those are some dear God in heaven initiatives, man.
Except for Simon can't do anything because he's fucking human right now.
Like,
I mean,
oh,
you could turn human or turn dragon, and then I don't know
It's
what
an
the.
action though.
as an
Oh
action.
yeah.
Okay, and with that knowledge, you've probably already made your assumptions as to what is happening. You don't have all the information yet, though. But I think this was exciting and enlightening to see how you all react to these people. That was very fun.
Indeed.
Indeed. So I want to thank everyone for what I think was a fun session. I hope you like the concept of the montage because I would like to continue it. Yeah, and
It's
if
definitely
there's
a good practice.
yeah, I think it's good practice. It's good world building for me, and it lets us have fun very quickly. Like, oh, dude, we got this super. By the way, that egg idea that was really fun. That could have gone so many ways.
Yeah.
That was
And
great.
I hope Tay put the hats in.
You
the
have
inventory.
you have Hatbird. You now
One
have
may
that.
been lost in the maze.
Oh, you put the hats in the maze.
Aww.
Oh.
It is
What
not
a butt.
it is not a crystal maze.
And Aspen
All
has
right.
an alter ego now of a pop culture character.
That he doesn't even know. That's right. That's wonderful. Oh God, he turned it on. All right.
I have a
So
wall of props.
All right, so everyone, this is a great place to stop. We will call it, and I will actually, from now on, when we do these games, we will actually call 3.5 hours as the session length. So from basically from game begin, 3.5 hours, we are cutting it one way or another. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
All right.
That's
So-
the time people have.
That's the time people have. So we're not going to divvy out experience just yet. So I'm going to keep the XP for the end of the scene, so to speak. So we're ending the episode, but the scene remains.
Yep.
If that makes sense.
I'm
All right?
excited. I am so excited.
I
It was
know,
a pleasure
Sarah.
playing about you all. It was like I definitely feel like we've been definitely getting a little bit through the awkward stages and getting to really know each other and the characters.
No, it is, and I'm glad. This is kind of how I personally like to do things. I like to jump between a more investigative or exposition, and then you know, fight, exposition, fight. But if someone says, if any of you say, hey, I want to do something specific, let me know, and I will make sure to try and do that. I really want to make this your stories as well. You're not. I don't want you to just react to my ideas. I want you to put your own out there.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say that I'm a big explorer of the world. So once we get to a certain point, I'll probably say let's go on these little adventures and try to do something.
Oh, yeah,
Try to
well,
figure something out.
We haven't even gotten to why you were kidnapped yet. I already know. In fact, I actually had to scrap that idea today.
And yeah, Yeek also has.
You haven't
has
got-
his
we haven't
own,
gotten to what?
their
I'm
own
sorry, I missed that.
secrets.
Yeah, we have Yeeks needing to do something in Samora. Your abduction, so to
Oh
speak,
yes,
Zero.
yes, that
And-
whole thing.
Artonis has his reasons. Torch is, or Aspen is pretty laid back. He's like, I just want to sing. And after his encounter in the Hall of the Dead, he's now like, that might not have been the best idea. I have PTSD now.
Well, that is something everyone else will have to ask him. So
And
I
Yeek
felt
says,
like this-
Aspen has his own things. So
Absolutely. I felt like I'm gonna just share a moment for me. Like how Zarum like spoke to Ingrid helped me get a better idea of his defense of the weak and defense of those
Yeah.
because like how he outright was like, this is what you just said and you just contradicted yourself. He was like, this is the truth of the matter and I'm going to fight for that because
That's
you're
good.
not fighting in the right way.
Oh, she's fighting in her way.
that and more
Alright.
next week
And
on
more.
Dragon Ball Z.
Find out more next week on Dungeons and Dragons and Birds.
Oh gosh, there's not gonna be there's never gonna be a dragon frenzy in the middle of this place.
We need an intro. Dungeons and Dragons and Birds. Just fleeks over here as the Kenku and Birds.
Wonderful.
It'll be
Alright,
it'll be a
guys.
Saturday morning cartoon
That's
intro.
right.
It'd be cool if we could have
Yes.
like a little intro like that because like honestly that is catchy.
That would be fun. That would be fun.
Dungeons
And
Birds.
who
Alright.
died? Who did we lose? Oh, that's right. Okay. Well, take care, guys, and thank you again for a fantastic time.
And
Thank
thank
you
you
all
for
for a wonderful
thank you
day.
for bringing us on the adventure.
All right. It has been my pleasure. Take care, everyone.
Bye bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.